I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who regard it, been using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
I heard a rumor. This guy right here, Jay Boogie, presenting Knicks in the booth, is gonna be fire.
Hey. They say we everywhere. We all over the place. If you don't see us, that means you ain't nowhere. You heard? We all over. The headline of the city, the post paper, the daily paper, everywhere in the city. Knick Chronicles, baby. Let's get it. When you talking to Knicks, we the biggest. Fan base in the league, we the biggest. When you see them, you tell them they the biggest. The most loyal people, we the biggest. When you talking to Knicks, we the biggest. Fan base in the league, we the biggest. When you see them, you tell them they the biggest. The most loyal people, we the biggest. It's game time, tell them, yeah, we outside. You know my voice, the young Mr. Walt Clyde. They say this year we blessed this, a new hope. I'm courtside next to Tracy Morgan Road. We so official, every game is sold out. You see the fans, stars, them carpets rolled out. I'm on this track, NBA and a Bleach report. Don't even ask for a short, this ain't a Newport. Flash report, tell them this is just in. You see Max outside, just don't let him in. I walk the streets every day with some grown men. I go left, cross back like I'm Brunson. Who that is? Jay Boogie, I'm so nice. I need a little bit more than yesterday's price. When you see him, you tell him, your boy, I'm locked in. I'm well surrounded with fans, we in the garden. When you talking to Knicks, we the biggest. Fan base in the league, we the biggest. When you see them, you tell them they the biggest. The most loyal people, we the biggest. When you talking to Knicks, we the biggest. Fan base in the league, we the biggest. When you see them, you tell them they the biggest. The most loyal people, we the biggest. If you ain't orange or blue, then you can't relate. I had them toxic boys that ate your Twitter space. A lot of people right now, they on clickbait. I had your forehead looking like your Stephen A. All the real creators be on the podcast. Take a look at the chat, you get my broadcast. The forecast is scattered with a lot of rain. My 4 poison pill jerk by Danny Ainge. New squad, new season, it's a new team. Shout out to Harlem Girl and Miss Geraldine. Play the youth, the kids, they gon' play hard. For 4 years, I just signed a 9-guard. The way we look right now, this a Nick thing. I might bring with the flow, so this here bang. Shout out the real ones that'll stay loyal. All the Nets fans, we know it's disloyal. When you talking to Knicks, we the biggest. Fan base in the league, we the biggest. When you see them, you tell them they the biggest. The most loyal people, we the biggest. When you talking to Knicks, we the biggest. Fan base in the league, we the biggest. When you see them, you tell them they the biggest. The most loyal people, we the biggest. When you come to the city and play for the Knicks, you're gonna get the biggest and most appreciated love. We the best people it is in the world that's gonna support our squad, support our team. You dig? We the biggest.
New York Knicks, we are the biggest. This is Jen from Knicks Army fans, and I want to let you know right now, if you didn't know before, New York Knicks, we the biggest, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Hey, shout out to my main man, Jay Boogie, man. Shout out to my brother, Jay Boogie, my much, much, much older brother, Jay Boogie. Shout out to Jay Boogie, man. Y'all know what it is. It's the Knicks at Night podcast. I'm your main man, Uncle Freezy. Y'all want this party started right. Y'all want this party started quickly. Right? Let's go. Let's go. Salute to the chat. Chuck Allen in the building. Knicks for Life is in the building. The hip-hop legend called Mega is in the building. Almighty Finesse, what's good? C-Mac, what's good? I see you. Liquid Snake, my main man. Okay. I see y'all. Salute. Drip Moore is in the building. The Blorange Tears Barber is in the building. Will Salkin, what's good? Eric Suriel is in the building. No, we can't start nothing until Eric Suriel get here. I can't say nothing. All I do is shout out everybody until Eric Suriel get here. All I do is shout out. They're like, you've been shouting out for 30 minutes. Well, Eric Suriel ain't here yet, man. Yeah, y'all. What's good? What's good, y'all? Fozzie in the building. What's good? Fozzie is in the building. Okay. Now we can get started. We can get started with this. Y'all want this party started right. Y'all want this party started quickly. Right? Okay. Throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you got some lube and a stick of juicy fruit, somebody say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Scream. Ah. Y'all know it. Y'all know what it is. Mets, Knicks fans, let's go. Fly God, C-Mac, Jamon, Blue Tears, Orange Tears, Blorange Tears. Let's go. All right. So I'm sorry about starting late, man, but I had to jump on a joint. So you know what it is with the networking and everything, right? You know what it is with the networking and things. So I was on with a channel, the We Talk Hawks. I was just on with them for about an hour or so, man. Shout out to the Mavs channel for Rel and all them guys, man, for having me on We Talk Mavs. Man, listen, man, it's always a pleasure going and hanging out with them guys and having them over here rocking with us. Shout out to We Talk Hawks, Demand, and all those guys, man. They mad passionate. Shout out to them guys, man. But like that new edition song, oh yeah, it feels so good to be back where we started from. It's back to be here with my Blorange Tears family. You know what I'm saying? It feels good to be back here with the Blorange Tears family, man, to talk that Knicks talk the way that y'all like to have that Knicks talk to y'all. Bim. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Hawks and the Mavs. They fan bases are mad passionate. Definitely got to do collaborations with them guys, do some more stuff. But for tonight, man, it just feels so good to be home with my Knicks fans. You know what I'm saying? Uncle Fulio is in the building. Salute to Uncle Fulio, man. That's my guy right there. Uncle Fulio, I still owe you for them drinks, bro. Matter of fact, I'm going to cash app Uncle Fulio right now. I'm a cash app Uncle Fulio right now for them drinks. Uncle Fulio, let me cash app you. Yeah. Uncle Fulio like, nah, no you don't. Yeah, man. Nah, man. I had a great time. With Uncle Fulio in Atlanta, bro. Had a great time with Uncle Fulio in Atlanta, man. Had a real good time. Salute to all the content creators at Knicks Universe that are just good people. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the cats at Knicks Universe that's good people, right? But I wanna start off tonight's show with a couple of things. And yes, I sent the bat signal out. I sent the bat signal out to the usual to the usual crew. So I imagine they'll be coming in a few minutes. But while I got the stage to myself, I just want to talk to y'all about a few things. King Poppy in the building. What's good, King Poppy? Love the music, bro. Rich Boy is in the building. Joe Madden is in the building. Right. I just want to talk to y'all about. So I have like 5 or 6 topics that that are on my mind that I want to kind of get into real deep, man. Make sure y'all check out King Poppy, man. King Poppy, you got to put a link to your stuff, to your music in the chat, bro, so people can rock with you, bro. Got to do that. I mean, I ain't trying to fuss or nothing. I ain't trying to tell you what to do or nothing. You know what I'm saying? But you can't tell us what you do and then, you know what I'm saying? I ain't nobody boss, but you know what I'm saying? Adam is in the building. So I have a few topics on my mind that I want to talk to y'all about, right? As I spoke earlier on the podcast platform, and let me just check. I'm gonna check on see how that podcast is doing, man. The show that I put up just a little while ago. I just want to see how. Bro, so I just put it up a little while ago, and it's got like 46 downloads already. This thing is amazing, bro. Yo, shout out to this thing is amazing. Every time I see the audio podcast numbers, I be like, yo, come on, man. This can't even be real life. Yo, shout out to everybody that supports Blorange Tears in every aspect that you can support. The Patreons, the YouTube members, the YouTube chat, the super chats, the audio podcast, everything, the merch. Man, shout out to everybody supporting, man. And as a matter of fact, I got to do a better job of talking about the merch. You should see a link to the merch underneath this video, right? You should see a link to it. It's just got some stuff out there. Shop at your leisure, if that's what you want to do, right? Here's the thing. First thing I want to talk about is Jalen Brunson. We gotta have Kaiser Sose in the building. Kaiser Sose, yo, we gotta have this. We gotta have this Jalen Brunson conversation, man. We gotta have this Jalen Brunson conversation, man. Right? I talked to a lot of y'all. A lot of y'all be like blowing up my phone, hit me on social media, DMing me, emailing the show, all types of stuff. This Jalen Brunson thing should be at the forefront of our minds, right? I'm not talking about stats and rotations and none of that stuff, right? We got to talk about, can Jalen Brunson take the pounding as a full-time point guard in the NBA? That's the question. And listen, I know others in Knicks universe are going to start talking about it eventually. You know what I'm saying? Because every time I talk to, say, Joe Madden about something, then everybody else in Knicks universe want to start talking about it. Every time me and C-Mac have a conversation, people start in other places start talking about it. But we got to start having this conversation about, can Jalen Brunson take the pounding as a full-time NBA point guard? Right? Can he? Is Jalen Brunson durable enough to take the pounding as a full-time NBA point guard? Right? Right now, I'm saying yes, but the arrow is pointing down. It's like Jalen Brunson is in a 15-round championship fight, and he's always getting stunned, dinged up, hurt, bruised, sprained. Right? Jalen Brunson is taking a pounding right now through 27 games. Right? Julian Blum is in the building. What's good? Julian Blum says he can, but he plays for a tyrant who, no matter what injury, will play you 48 minutes. And it seems like we're a third of the way through the season, right? What are we, 27 games? It seems like we're a third of the way through the season, right? Right? Well, what's 27? What's 27 times 3? 27 times 3 is 81? Okay. Yeah, so we're about a third of the way through the season. Right? And Jalen Brunson is already walking wounded through a third of the season. And Will Salker says that fall on his hip was rough. I was worried he fractured it. Me too, bro. Me too. And he stayed in the game. These things worry me. Is this guy's reckless style conducive to playing an 82-game schedule? Now, I know after hearing this, everybody in Knicks universe is going to start talking about it. So y'all get y'all answers in right now. Y'all go ahead and get ahead of the conversation. Get ahead of the conversation now, man. You know what I'm saying? Julian Blum says, throw some dirt on it. Julian Blum says, get on some icy hot and suit up. We're not paying a dude that much money to be in street clothes. My thing is with Jalen Brunson and this reckless style of play is this is what we always wanted from the point guard position. At the same time, it's one of those deals where it's what we always wanted, but we got to keep them healthy. Right? We got to keep Jalen Brunson healthy. Right now, we're in a good place. The Knicks came from being 3 games under 500 and looking like a certain lottery team to 1 game above 500 using the 4-game winning streak against, I think it's 4 playoff teams. I think we beat 4 playoff teams. No, not Charlotte. Charlotte's not a playoff team. But we beat Cleveland, who was number 4 in the East at the time. We beat Atlanta, who was number 5 in the East at the time. We beat Charlotte, who's a disaster. And then we beat Sacramento, who I think was like 7th or 8th at the time. Nev the Disruptor is in the building. So the Knicks knocked off 3 really good teams. 3 really, really, really good teams, and made them, quite honestly, look like bad teams. The Knicks beating Cleveland, that Cleveland game, they made Cleveland look bad. And I know that is, 8 days ago? Dre is in the building. Dre is in the building. What's good, Dre? Dre, guess who I just rocked with? Let me throw this link in the chat. I got a few topics, right? I want to stay on topic, right? I'm gonna try to stick to these topics so that the chat can kind of follow the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Let me put this thing out here for Nev and for for those the usual suspects that want to come in and rock. Right? Yeah, hey, Julian Blow says, salute Nev, and I disagree already. Nev the Disruptor disagrees with the link in the chat. Nev disagree. I disagree with the link in the chat, Uncle Freezy. Okay. All right, sure you do. That's my man, though. I love to hear Nev talk, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I love to hear Nev's logic and where he comes from. And I know sometimes we get counter, but that's all about the debate. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. Okay. All right, getting back on task, right? Hey Adam, what's good, bro?
What's good, Uncle Freezy? Salute. Nev is funny, isn't he?
Yeah.
He disagree with everything.
Yeah. Yeah, he disagrees with disagreeing. Nev is like, I don't disagree with everything. Bro, you disagreed with disagreeing. What are you talking about, Nev? So but yeah, just wanna point this thing out. So the Knicks have climbed themselves out of the doldrums and positioned themselves in a place where they look like they can threaten for, dare I say, winning 50 games. All right, but here's the thing. Here's the point that I first got to. I want to stay on it for a little bit. Adam, do you think there is a world where Jalen Brunson, with this reckless style of play, can stay healthy for 82 games?
That's a good question. Do we even know if his sprained ankle is serious? Or is it a day-to-day thing?
Not sure. Not sure.
I said it last night. I'm hoping that it's a day-to-day and not serious.
Right.
Because otherwise, we're going to have to count on Randall, RJ, Quickly, Grimes, McBride. Just step up. Be the next man. Just step up.
Right.
Unless Tibbs shock us all and put in Derrick Rose, Evan Fournier, because he's going to need, some extra pieces.
Right. It's
Yeah.
and thus with the said, it puts us in this weird situation. Dre, what's good? Oh, here he come. Here come Dre. Look like he trolling.
Oh
boy.
Oh. Salute, Dre.
That's what took Dre so long to jump on, because he trolling. What's up, Dre? How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Hey man,
I'm good.
Good to hear, man.
Dre,
I think you said you had something you wanted to stay on track with, so I won't divert too much.
Okay.
I'll try not to.
My hand is in the building. Basically, what I have a bunch of topics that I wanted to talk about, and I don't just put them out there, because I kind of want to save them for our conversations.
Yeah.
I don't want to give, and I know this is going to kind of sound kind of selfish and kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It's petty, but I don't want to do that because I value our conversations, and it's the reason why, like, I kind of try to save certain content for us and just us only. That's why I try to talk to like the one topic. Nev is in the building. What's good, sir?
Oh, here we go.
What's up, man?
Nev, the disagreeer, is in the building.
Disagree. Salute, Nev.
How you doing today,
Salute,
sir?
man. Good, man.
Good, man. It's good to see you, brother.
Yeah, I'm at the office tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
I um just want to say this. Um I don't know, and I can't, and I don't want to anticipate Jalen Brunson staying healthy for 82 games, playing this style, this reckless style.
Hey, y'all,
And
wait. Time out, Freely. Can you, Nev, can you, like, mute your mic when you're not talking? Because you're breathing. We can hear you breathing. I don't want you to, like, mess up
My
everything.
mic, yeah, it might be too
Just turn
high.
it on when you have something to say. Yeah.
Sure.
okay, or and my advice for those that have that on their mic, just get something like this. Y'all see what this is? Something like, or a piece of tissue or something that you can put on the mic, and then that way it'll. What do they call it? Cat fur? Cat? I forget what they call it. Joe Madden is in the building. Joe, what's good, bro?
What's happening, gentlemen? How we doing?
Good, man. Good, man.
Good.
Salute, Joe.
It's
What's
it's
happening,
called
bro?
the. It's what up, Joe? It's called the windscreen.
Yeah. Pop filter. That's what that's the official name of it. Yeah. Chuck, thanks, Chuck.
That too.
Yeah. But Jalen Brunson in the last 7 out of the last 10 games I watched, Jalen Brunson had some type of ding. I'll call it that. I won't call it an injury. I'll call it a ding. You know how you play during the game, you'll get hurt, but you stay in the game. You know what I'm talking about? Like 7 out of the last 10 times, and I'm like, wow, how long can he continue to play every? See, this is not the Jalen Brunson I saw in Dallas. I never saw Jalen Brunson get dinged up like this in Dallas, and I watched Mavericks games. Do you guys think maybe the load is too much for him to carry, and maybe he needs help, or is you just feel like he's going through some type of weird season?
I feel like it can be a bit of both because with his play style, he has to be in the paint, and when you get higher usage, there's just more chances for him to run into bigger defenders, for him
Right.
to get hurt. While I do think there's some like odd freak accidents because, well, not accidents, but just it's just oddities that are out of
Right.
the norm. It leads for it to be both, and I feel
Okay.
like we see how often RJ probably drives more than Brunson in a game, but he's a lot bigger
Right.
with more muscle, so he can protect himself. But whereas Brunson, he's not necessarily he's not physically the right type of size to withstand that type of
Right.
punishment on a night to night basis,
Right.
especially with a high usage.
I think too defensively, he's putting in a little bit more grind on defensive end, like it was with Dallas. Because you got to remember, Dallas had like defensive wings around them, so it was a little bit easier for him on defense. You don't have that here.
Right.
Because you have Grimes and Mitch in there, but he's asked to do a lot more, and he's guarding. I think too is last year he was guarding a lot of two guards. This year, I think he's guarding just pure point guards.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, what we're saying is his usage is leading to him getting dinged up more. Basically, you know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't the full-time point guard in Dallas, right? And quite frankly, probably wasn't the full-time two either. I remember Jalen Brunson in Dallas being in a 3-guard rotation where he was always the second guard that could just go out and score, right? Just go out and score. That's your job. Just go out and score. Go out and score. But he never was the defensive guard who picked up he didn't guard. His job was never to lock down Steph Curry, Trae Young, Damian Lillard, Bradley Beals, anybody like that. And his job was also never to be the John Stockton of the Dallas Mavericks offense. That's Luka's job. He's always been the tertiary, secondary playmaker that was hidden on defense and thrived in a kind of like the off Broadway play, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the guy that thrived next to somebody that was always the main attraction. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not. Okay.
And I think so. I think so. Freezy too is he most of his career with Dallas. He was like the sixth man. He was more or less put into the starting lineup when Tim Hardaway went down after around the deadline last year, and then he really ramped it up in the playoffs.
Right.
So it's not he hasn't been a full-time starter really. This is his first opportunity where he's going in as a full-time starter. My issue is are they going to overuse him a little bit, or if they don't get him help? Is you're going to see him like Tibbs do what Tibbs does and drains out a point guard halfway through a season?
Right.
Because you look like quickly Deuce defensively has been good, but doesn't give you a lick on offense.
Frank Ntilikina, yeah.
Yeah. A better Frank Ntilikina actually plays actual defense. Frank Ntilikina's was fake defense. I'm 6'6", so I kind of have to be long.
Right.
But like Deuce plays defense and then quickly plays defense, but so inconsistent offensively and is not really a playmaker.
Right.
So that's why I feel like Brunson they need if they're going to make a playoff run, they're going to make some sort of move to get him some sort of help offensively and defensively.
Okay.
Then D Rose ain't cutting it.
No, D Rose is
finished.
D Rose is Jalen Brunson is what we wish Jalen Brunson is what we wish D Rose would have been when we acquired him, to be honest with you. Go get you some buckets, make some plays occasionally, you score about 18, about 4 assists. Don't worry about defense. We'll make up for defense with these other guys that we have. Right. But my fear is with this newfound chemistry and synergy during this 4-game win streak, and it's not lucky because you beat Cleveland, you beat Cleveland, Atlanta, and Sacramento, and I know they all had injuries, right? I think they all had an injury somewhere, right? But at the end of the day, these teams with those injuries are still beating up on other teams in the NBA. So for those that say, well, Jarrett Allen was out. Well, Cleveland was knocking off teams before and after they played us with Jarrett Allen out. And Sacramento, the night before they played us, they knocked off somebody else. I can't remember what team, but they knocked off a team without De'Aaron Fox right before they played us.
Yeah,
Right.
Freezy. I feel like it's not like we're beating teams by filling the hoop up and we're scoring 125 of a hot streak of shooting.
Yeah.
Defense is a constant if you have specific players out there that can do it. So even if we're going against superstars where they may have like a better chance of beating us, we're always going to put in that effort if we have Grimes, Deuce, and IQ out there on the perimeter.
Right.
Like the difference, like the staunch difference, we legit went from 26 to top 10 in defense just off of this stretch, and that's just speaks to how well we're playing on the perimeter.
Right.
And that's something even the eye test can see. That'll show up against whoever. Period.
I think the defense looked like it started after the Mavs loss, and the Mavs beat us by 21. I think the defense wrapped up when Donovan Mitchell was coming into the Garden. I think that team took that game personally when they weren't going to let Donovan Mitchell walk into their building and show him out after all these trade talks. Right. And they wrapped up the defense. And how many points did they let in? I think they only let in like 80-something points.
Yeah, during this stretch, nobody has scored 100 points.
No, and since then, that's where it's ramped up. I think that game kind of ramped the defense up, and that's what they're holding their hat on, which is why we're winning games.
Joe, did you know that, and I think I heard this somewhere before. I don't know how accurate it is. I didn't research it, right? But did you know that for the first time this season, Sacramento didn't score 100 points?
Mm-hmm.
They scored 100 points in every game they played this year, except this game against the Knicks in the Garden. And they scored 99. And trust me, towards the end of that game, they were shooting for 100, bro. They were getting shots up, bro. They were like, they take pride in scoring 100 points, right? They were trying to get to 100. They knew they weren't going to win, but they were trying to get to 100.
Yeah.
That meant something to them, and we still held them under 100. Now it was 99, but it is what it is.
It's still below 100. So what's the league average points given up? Like 102, 104, something like that?
No, I
It's
think it's
higher than that.
111.
It's a lot
It's
higher
like
than
Oh,
that.
it's gone up even more
Yeah,
now.
yeah, it's like 111. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
And
yeah,
what?
yeah.
Where? I haven't even looked like statistics wise. I know, but where are we defensively ranked in the league? We must
We
be getting
went
closer up there
we
now.
went we were 26 4 games ago. 26th
Yeah,
overall defensive rating. Now we're 10
yeah,
just off of this stretch.
yeah, and a lot of that doesn't necessarily have to do with us specifically, but a lot of teams are coming. A lot of teams are coming back to the pack. Like they look good defensively, and all of a sudden they're falling down the rankings. But however we get there, it don't matter. We are where we are, right? It don't matter if we skyrocketed or other teams fell. We are where we are, right?
I'm gonna notice, Freezy, is you have a lot of fans. Like I know some people are so sort like with the Donovan Mitchell trade and stuff, and why we said with Brunson we didn't get Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's only won 4 or 5 more games than us, and now he cost them 6 first-round picks.
Yeah,
That's not that much of a big difference right now. Like this whole Eastern Conference, it's so close.
And Joe, we were never getting Donovan Mitchell, bro. I'm trying to tell Knicks fans that, and they don't come.
Yeah.
They can't wrap their mind around the Quentin Grimes part, bro. Listen, y'all. How are you going to tell a basketball fan like Uncle Freezy, who's been watching basketball since the 70s, that Colin Sexton is a better player than R.J. Barrett? There's no way you can tell me that Colin Sexton, who is coming off the bench behind Mike Conley and Jordan Clarkson, is not a better player than R.J. Barrett, who's a starter. There's no way you're telling me that R.J. Barrett wouldn't be starting over Jordan Clarkson right now in Utah. There's no way somebody can tell me that.
I don't think it come down to players with that. I really do think it was the picks, and the Knicks didn't want to have to give up that third unprotected pick or a 6th pick. And Cleveland were like, "Yeah, here, have at it." I really don't think it come down to RJ. I didn't think they cared about Grimes. They cared about RJ. It was that pick.
There was them picks, right?
It was them picks.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think Utah's come back down to earth a little bit, but there was a couple of pictures taken. Was it Jazz games when they were winning games early on, and Danny Ainge wasn't too happy that they were winning.
So I want to ask. Now that we are shorthanded with 2 players, Obi and Brunson, would you stick with the 8-man rotation, or would you, or you think Tibbs is most likely trying to avoid using Rose and Fournier and decides to use them? Would you use Rose and Fournier and possibly Cam because we're short-handed by 2 players?
We're probably gonna.
Or would you stick with the 8-man rotation?
We're probably gonna use one of them because it's really not sustainable to run an 8-man rotation in the regular season. Like no sane coach does that. Not even Tibbs would do that.
Not even Tibbs would go that far, right?
Now, if it was a playoff game, you would, but regular season, no.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna. I think the guy that you'll see is Svi Mikhailuk. I don't think Cam. I think Cam is done as a Knick. And when I saw him in Charlotte, he looked like a man that's mentally checked out, knowing he's gone. Cam Reddish looks like a man with y'all, and I equate it to y'all. Remember in high school when you already finished all your standardized testing as a senior, and you know what I'm saying, you getting your stuff ready for the prom, and you think about graduation. You ain't think about academics. That's what Cam Reddish is right now, bro. But like I think he's going through the motions, but I think Cam Reddish sees his career post Knicks. Not right now where he is.
Does Cam want to be traded, or Tibbs doesn't want him here?
And both.
Both.
Either way, this dude is gone, bro.
Mm-hmm.
This dude is gone. It's like how Elfrid Payton looked that year in the playoffs when Tibbs benched him. Elfrid Payton didn't even go in the game. Think about if Tibbs benched him in the playoffs, bro. Remember how Alfred Payton wouldn't even go into the game for us? Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're on the bench looking like an empty vessel, just like not even there. They're present, but they're not really present. They're just like checked out.
Yeah, they're present, but they're not in the moment. Right.
I wonder what happened, because something must have happened behind the scenes that nobody knows about between Cam and Tibbs, because Cam's getting all these minutes, playing great defense, a little bit of consistency offensively, and next thing out of nowhere, gone from the rotation.
Yep.
Next thing, guys are going down hurt. Still no Cam. The next thing you see, Cam wants out.
Well, you know what?
Okay. Go ahead, Freezy.
Dre, just real quick. You know,
Yeah.
what it is people. You don't remember Saturday when Dallas was putting the throttle to us, right? Yeah, remember Dallas was putting the throttle to us. Their big out sprinted past Cam Reddish, and Cam jogged up the floor, right? And he pointed at Mitch to pick up his man, and his man dunked. Tibbs took him out of the game. Right then, I knew Tibbs and Cam Reddish were never going to be on the same page ever. Because the only thing Tibbs asks you to do is play hard. That's all. Bro, if you play hard for Tibbs, he'll play you for it. Don't matter. Bro, do you see how bad RJ Barrett's offense looks? But RJ plays hard, though, with his limited capabilities. RJ plays hard, bro. With his limited abilities, he play hard. Right? Cam, with all that talent, lollygag let a slow power forward beat him up the floor and dunk. Tibbs, as soon as Tibbs took him out the game, I was like, yeah, he ain't getting back in this game. Now, I didn't know Tibbs was going to take him out of the rotation, but all Tibbs asked you to do is play hard. Look at Grimes. What does Grimes offer you offensively?
Nothing. That defense, though. That defense has changed everything for this team. Like now I'm seeing, and now I'm going to eat crow on this one. I don't like eating crow, but yo, he's changed everything. Like, I see why the untouchable was there. Like, I'm not fully bought in on it, but if that shot goes and he's a beautiful jumper, then you have a real 3-and-D there.
Hey,
Grimes does have it.
Excuse me?
You got something going on? You gotta.
Yeah,
that's his breathing. It's his breathing going through his mic. That's what we hear. That's
I know
like,
why my. Yeah, it's acting funny
no,
tonight.
it's just picking. And it's your mic's not broken. It's just sensitive, so it's got to pick up your breathing.
Normally that doesn't happen. Yeah, Freezy, I have to disagree. About Cam.
Oh, Cam Reddish getting beat by the guy? That happened.
No, not that part. About Thibodeau and Cam.
Okay.
Like I said, Thibodeau has the certain players he wants to play over everybody else, and Cam, he never accepted Cam as one of those guys. He wasn't open to that trade, period. For whatever reason, it could be some, like I said, some gossip going around the coaches or something to that effect that made him turn away from Cam. But he was never a welcoming, like, hey, I welcome you in my team. I'm willing to see what you have. It was never like that. And what made it worse is that Cam is not in good shape. I don't consider what Cam is doing very good shape. There are times Cam just loses the ball just dribbling. So I don't consider what Cam is doing. Cam making it much worse because he's not in excellent shape to show Thibodeau, hey, you need me. I am that good. So Tom Thibodeau is actually winning the battle, because Cam made it easier for him to win the battle. And now Thibodeau, I'm pretty sure management have said, do whatever you need to do. So Cam is not going to be in the rotation. I don't see Cam ever coming back to the rotation. As a matter of fact,
no, he gone.
As soon as they can trade the guy, he's going to be out of here.
They can train him right now. They can train him right now.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's
the 15th.
2 more days.
Thursday.
No,
2 more days.
Wait, hold on. Again, that's not accurate. Contracts that are signed during the summer have to wait 60 days from the time the season starts to be traded.
Yeah.
But players that have already been on your roster can be traded at any time. There is no open season for trading. The December 15th thing is, say Jalen Brunson can't be traded until December 15th. That's because he signed a contract here and the first day started officially that day. It's 60 days from the start of the season before you can be traded if you have a new contract. If you're already under contract, like say for instance, the Knicks could have traded Julius Randle the second game of the season.
Yeah, yeah, Freezy. But like to even speak on that point, the additional players being added to that pool kind of helps like grease the it kind of helps grease the wheels for things to get
Because
into
more players
motion.
are available. Right. I
More players
understand
are
that part.
available, and it will make deals easier when you can pick and choose what contracts that are
Right.
more
But
readily available.
yeah, I
But he
got you.
can
But
be traded. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I understand what you're saying. But I'm saying is I don't want to have the listeners thinking that there's an open season for trading. There is no open season for
Gotcha.
trading.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
You're
I
right.
just
Yeah,
want
you're
people to
100%
think
right, Freezy.
the way the message comes out. That's all.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
You know, I'm surprised these last few games that Cam didn't play. I'm surprised he'd be sitting on the bench in his uniform and not in his street clothes.
Hmm.
Because we may
Yeah,
actually need him.
we
That's
may
why.
may
Yeah,
need a
but Tibbs is never going to use him. So Cam you might as well put his street clothes on.
Yeah. Well, if you put him street clothes, then we'd have to bring someone up from the G League.
yeah.
But
Because if he's not active, you still have to have somebody there in uniform.
you
Oh,
can't
Like
have that many people inactive unless they're injured on your bench just chilling. We don't have that many injuries. We have a
Nice
few, but
7 or 8 million sitting in uniform watching a basketball game courtside. I'd take it.
hey Joe,
the
let me
best
ask you
seats
this.
in the house.
Joe, let me ask you this, Joe. Hey, if would you consider playing Daquan Jeffries?
who?
No.
Exactly.
Heck
Not your
no.
answer, Joe. I'm talking about Adam.
No, but it's the thing with Cam is like, what are they going to do now if Brunson's out for a severe amount of time?
Yeah.
Where's because you're gonna have to go 9 deep.
Yeah.
It's
At least.
Obi
probably
out.
Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is going to come back. In my opinion, it's going to be Derrick Rose. It's just the
Yeah.
easiest guy, and
Prob-
he's the guy that has the best relationship with Tibbs, where he cannot be in a rotation for a week or 2 weeks and then immediately get thrusted back in. Plus, the next two games are in Chicago, so
Right.
it's
Yeah.
only like hop,
Hey,
skip, and jump.
Yeah,
can,
and
can,
it's 100% not Fournier.
can I throw a fly in the ointment?
Go ahead.
I just want to throw a fly. I want to play the role of Nev the Disruptor just for a second. Now, mind you, I'm not as good as Nev. There's only one Nev the Disruptor. He is an original, right? But
Wow.
let me add a fly to the ointment. Why would Tibbs play Derrick Rose when you have think about this? That means you have all guards coming off the bench except for Hartenstein and Sims. Right?
The only reason I say that the only reason I say that is because we're losing a point guard and we're just going to replace another point guard, and we'll probably start quickly and then put Derrick Rose next to McBride off the bench, like how we had quickly next to McBride. That's the only reasonable way I see us doing it, and the only way. And we'll probably try to split duties where who's at the three between RJ and Grimes, and RJ and Grimes are going to play 40 minutes apiece. Like when one's off, one's going to shift to the three
Right.
and
Now,
downsize.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't see him playing Rose or anybody for that matter. I actually see him going to a shorter rotation.
He's
Um,
8.
because the game is Wednesday and the next one is Friday, and
Friday,
they don't
yeah.
have to travel.
Right.
So, that's what he's going to take into consideration. There's no
Yeah.
traveling.
Yep.
So therefore you can go to an 8-man rotation because you actually have a day to rest and you don't need to
2
travel.
days. 2
2
days to
days.
rest. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're not
2 days straight.
traveling. Yeah.
And no traveling. So he's
Yeah.
he's not going to play Derrick Rose because he's not a coach that takes those things into consideration. Like Derrick Rose is in Chicago and that's where he originated from. He doesn't take those kind of
He
stuff
did
into
that with
consideration.
Jericho Sims in Minnesota when Jericho Sims was not in the rotation, and he threw him out there in Minnesota, and he's
Well,
from Minnesota.
let's hope
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
He did that, but I don't know if that was the case.
And he was
yeah.
completely out of the rotation at that point, and
Yeah.
he actually played him.
He didn't just play him. He started him.
Exactly.
But to Nev's point though, Chicago and Indianapolis are two cities that are close, like New York and Philadelphia, right? So there's a game in Chicago, an off day, a game in Chicago, an off day, and then a game in Indianapolis, right? So I think Tibbs could get away with the 8-man rotation just for that trip. But the thing is, you only do that if you think Brunson is going to be out for a week or less. Now, if he is out for a week or more, then you cannot do an 8-man rotation thinking that you can do that for 3 weeks.
No.
Yeah, they're just asking for more injuries.
Yeah.
I think by honestly, Freezy, you're thinking that 15th date. What date's today? Like the 13th. So the 15th and is a third. What today's Tuesday? So Thursday. By the end of that a trade might be made because realistically, you're looking, bro, and it annoys me. We have $40 million added up in 3 dudes in contracts that are out of the rotation.
They're not even playing.
The max contract worth, like. So, and then 3 dudes that were meant to be matching salaries and deals over the summer. So, and 2 of them, Rose, you could say there's probably no animosity. He's like, look, I'm older, I'm the vet. He'll come in and be a pro. Right. But I don't think Fournier and Cam will come in and be a pro. I think if anything, Fournier and Cam coming into a game it'd be worse off than them not playing at all.
They trying to get theirs, bro.
They're trying to get theirs so they get out of here.
Yeah.
And that's why I really think the best way is you might have to attach Cam to Fournier.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. It's going to be 2 guys
Cam
going.
And Fournier for somebody. I don't know what we get back for it, but have to be another wing though player, another 2 or 3. Can't get another point guard back.
I would say that the thing that makes the most sense in my mind right now at this moment is Derrick Rose to the Chicago Bulls for Derrick Jones Jr. That makes the most sense. That makes the most sense in my mind right now. If we're just talking about
money match,
14 mil. One dude's making 14 mil.
I think Derrick Jones making like 5 or 6 or something.
He's making 3 mil. Yeah,
damn,
you're right. Yeah. That would have
but
been a
it
nice
would probably. I mean, they might have someone else that they don't really want. To make
Kobe White would come here and ride the bench. Because if he's not
basically Kobe's expiring. Kobe's technically expiring.
Yeah, he's a restricted free agent. He's in Cam Reddish's draft class.
Yeah, I'd be calling about my boy Zach over there. To be honest, if I'm moving Fournier and Cam, I'd be like, here's Fournier, Cam, D Rose, that matches money, and here's 2 picks. Because they got to blow it up over there in Chicago, and I'm not.
Do they have to though, bro? They're only 11 and 14.
They got nothing. They got absolutely nothing. This year is going to the Magic. The Magic might get 2 top 10 picks in this draft. Another one off the Bulls. For that Vucevic trade, like they got nothing to make any moves.
Right.
Wow.
So there's already hints that they might blow it up, and really the only big piece out of it, well, DeRozan, they could probably get something for DeRozan. They're going to have to move stuff to move Vucevic. The only real thing they have is Levine.
Patrick Williams is attractive, bro.
Oh, I forgot Patrick. Well, he could be a cheat too because he's not playing well.
He's not offensively. He's not playing well. Defensively, defensive. I could see, no lie, I could see Tom Thibodeau having a hissy fit to get Patrick Williams. I could see Tibbs throwing them Obi for Patrick Williams right now.
I'd give them Cam and a pick. We have a bunch of protected picks.
I'll give them Cam. I'll give him Cam, and I don't even know how many more years are left on his deal. I think he has one more year before he gets turned to restricted.
He was Obi's draft, so he has like an extension eligible next year with another year.
Yeah, so next year it'll be the same thing. He'll be hitting restricted free agency. You have to offer him a rookie extension, and you know what I'm saying. But I could see if Tibbs is going to be here long term, and I think he is, based on how they're performing at the moment. I think Tibbs would lay down on his sword for Patrick Williams, bro. A wing defender that can guard 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s, and he's low maintenance offensively. All he wants to do is just, bro. He's got a cool nickname already. They call him Nepal.
Because he has the same, he's basically the same size as Kawhi. He has the same stoic nature. Like, he's pretty quiet off to himself.
Yeah, he's basically Kawhi.
He wears braids as well. And he has big hands as well.
Yeah. I think Tom Thibodeau would. I think Tibbs would legit sell a kidney to get Patrick Williams in his defense. I'm telling you, I think if you get Patrick Williams, RJ goes back to the 2, Grimes comes off the bench, Patrick Williams starts at the 3. Now you go with because listen, under no circumstance are you going to bench RJ. And I'm sorry, Grimes, but Patrick Williams is a better and more versatile defender than Quentin Grimes. And I'm not saying Grimes going to the bench is a bad thing for him, because Grimes will still probably get about 26, 27, 28 minutes. It just won't be in the role that he was in right now. And then imagine this. Imagine you play big guards and Jalen Brunson not having to be, man, listen. It just makes too much sense. It just makes too much sense.
When is the RJ's poison pill up on that contract?
Next year. Next year.
When it's time.
That's another year.
Yeah.
Because that's something I'd be entertaining a move in RJ before it's too late, because to me this is a bad contract and he's going to show it very soon.
Yeah, and Patrick Williams has been in the league 3 years, bro, and he just turned 21 in August.
That's why they took him. I think he was just not long 18 when after they gone into the draft. I remember he come off the benching for Florida State.
Yeah, behind Devin Vassell. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's still raw. Like, the offensive game might come, but you remember Kawhi? How many years was really Kawhi? It was 4, 5 years before Kawhi really popped.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to say he popped in the finals, then 3 years.
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah. But he was on a really good team as the 4th guy, and he just picked up the periphery he guarded Tony Parker's man. He guarded Ginobili's man. You know what I'm saying? He was that athlete in transition. But Dre, here's the thing. Here's the reason why I say Cam in a pick is not going to get you Patrick Williams. Bro, right now he's shooting 90% from the free throw line. As a wing playing athlete, he's shooting 90% from the. Matter of fact,
how often is he going to the line though?
So he's shooting 93% from the free throw line, but he's not going much. Right? But he's also, Joe, here's the other thing. Also, he's shooting 43.6% from 3 on 3 attempts a game.
46% from 3?
I feel like Freezy, if they blow it up, you probably one of their main focuses to build around in the aftermath of the Levine and DeRozan and Vucevic saga, because he's that young, where it's like, might as well lock him into a little cheap deal, I'm trying to think of someone who, I'm
talking about Steph Curry's second deal.
Yeah, you just talking about the money though. Like, The reason was the injuries, but him it was because he's still developing. So like
Right.
Keldon Johnson, I think got an extension or he's due for an extension. He didn't get a crazy amount of money. They'll
Right, got
probably
80
lock him
million,
into it.
right?
Yeah, they'll probably give him a bit of money like that, and then just build around him.
I
And
would.
yeah, go ahead, baby.
That's another dude I'd be looking to call about if San Antonio are still looking to go with Victor. Keldon Johnson's nice.
I'm giving them.
Yeah,
I'm giving them Cameron Obi.
Keldon Johnson's nice, but he's also shooting like a terrible percentage right now for the field. Like he's
See,
putting
that's
up tour dates right now.
He's probably getting the Devontae Murray treatment from last year, but not doing it as well, where he was basically just giving the ball and let's say just go put up points, and we're not trying to win games. And that's where I kind of agree with you. If the Bulls blow it up, he's that young and that raw, and you can see it defensively that they should for a year or two, just if they do trade all these dudes, but like here's the ball, you just put up points and we're gonna tank.
Yeah,
that's basically what the Spurs are doing with Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell. It's just Devin Vassell is probably like the number 2 option on that team, but he's way more efficient than Keldon because he's just a better shooter. Keldon lost his jumper at some point. And he has a lot of the same issues RJ has, where he doesn't really have touch around the rim, but he keeps trying to throw up floaters and he's like missing them.
Bad floaters, bro.
He's like 8. He was 8 for 25 tonight. I mean, 1 because he blocked. He blocked Donovan Mitchell at the rim to save the game, but he shot 8 for 25 tonight.
He plays defense, and RJ don't even play defense. That's the difference.
Yeah, and Keldon Johnson is in the same thing as RJ Barrett, the RJ Barrett conversation, because Keldon Johnson at small forward is 6'5". It's the same type deals that RJ Barrett deal with, like length at the rim and all these type of things. But let me say this though, to the Patrick Williams thing. Dre, what I would do is I would overpay, and you heard me talk to Coach about this a couple of weeks ago. The Knicks are not going to draft a star, so everybody's just talking about tanking. Stop it.
Wait, you're not trying to look at the guy in my avatar? You're not trying to see him?
No, under no circumstance. Everybody talk about tank started over from scratch. I admire your passion, but when given the Knicks the opportunity to draft a franchise player, they're going to say something like, with the number 3 pick in the NBA draft, the New York Knicks select RJ Barrett. The New York Knicks select Frank Ntilikina. The New York Knicks select Kevin Knox. That's what you're going to hear. And you know how I know this is true? Because we've done it. The New York Knicks select Tim Hardaway Jr. The New York Knicks select Jerrion Grant. Right? So instead of
that's not fair though, Freezy. Because the Knicks have selected top 5 twice since Patrick Ewing, and we got KP and RJ. And we can say KP was top 5 before his injuries happened, but he was worthy of his draft selection. It's not our fault that RJ was. He was worthy of going number 4 off his potential alone.
So how the draft should have went that year, right? And you all know this. And I'm not playing the revisionist history card, but I'm playing a revisionist history card, right? So that draft had so many bumbling idiots in the draft, right? Minnesota had no other choice but to take Karl Anthony Towns.
Yep.
Right? But after that, look at what everybody else did.
D'Angelo Russell, Jagier Okafor.
Yes. Devin Booker went 11.
And we wanted Okafor. The only reason I think they didn't take, he was
Phil
gone.
Jackson was in love with him.
Yeah, he was gone.
But look at it this way. At least we didn't draft Mario Hezonja. We could have done that.
Listen, if Jahlil Okafor was on the board when we drafted, we would have either drafted him or Trey Lyles.
Oh my God.
Joe, am I lying? What was the talk? What was the talk coming up? If Porzingis, you remember the guy that was the Knicks guy, he said Porzingis is the best player in this draft if put in the right situation. Phil Jackson said guys that are 7'3" are injury prone and they can't stay healthy in the league. Trust me, I know. I've seen too many of them. Right?
If I recall correctly, at the time, like people were hyping up Mario Hezonja as being NBA ready, and like people
Jordan. He was a Croatian Michael Jordan.
and people thought maybe we reached for KP
I'm
because he
sorry,
was still going to
Croatian,
be a
Joe.
project.
Croatian.
Wasn't
I'm sorry.
Emmanuel Moody in that draft too?
Yes,
He was.
He was
He
in
was
that
the
was.
draft
shade and
also.
sharp. It was he played 2 or 3 games in a couple of high school videos, and they put him on the shelf because they knew he wasn't good enough. And if they played enough of games, he wasn't going to get
He
drafted
got
high.
exposed.
Hey, look,
Yeah, he got
man.
exposed.
Hey, look, man. Shaden Sharp is going to be T-Mac. Just putting it up.
He's kind of like that, but they done like with Sharp last year. What they done was they showed the upside and the raw ability, and then they put it on the shelf.
Yeah, they pulled the plug. Like they not even
teased,
taking a chance he gonna tear his ACL or anything like that. Just like
But Dre, my point though, the point I'm making is that draft was a bunch of bumbling idiots. It was like giving 7-year-olds your credit card. That's what it was like.
And
Hey,
if I
look,
don't
man.
believe teams were trying to get rid of their picks leading up to that draft too. Teams were like, "Yo, take our first."
yeah,
Trying to get
that
future
draft was weak, but this draft coming up right now, you know you want both them Thompson twins, man. Let's cut the shenanigans. Let's cut the shenanigans.
But Dre, but listen. Now let's not go about what Uncle Freezy wants, because if Uncle Freezy was the boss, first of all, the first thing I do, or the third or fourth thing I do, is hire Joe Madden. I ain't gonna lie, Joe. No disrespect, Joe, but the first thing I do is probably kick my foot up in my brand new office. You know what I'm saying? That's probably the first thing I do. So no disrespect, right? But
you call me then, right? And we sit down and talk. We have to sit down and look at.
I'm hiring you off rip. Ain't no talking. I'm like, Joe, what you doing? Joe be like, I'm taking out the trash. Well, come out here and be the vice president of such and such and such and such.
Man,
no, you already before. As soon as you hire, you see me pulling up. I have Julius, I have RJ, I have to quickly, and I'm bringing them to the airport. All of them. I'm loading up on picks on this draft. I'm serious.
Hey, man, I saw Cam Whitmore on Saturday.
Yeah,
I saw. Oh my God, just an impact player, and he comes off the bench, and he's still the best player on the team.
Baller.
Immediately.
But Dre, my point is, even in this year's draft, where you could have used assets to trade up 1 or 2 spots, these dudes traded back out of the lottery, out of the first round, and then drafted Trevor Kills, who's in the G League right now.
But that this looks like it's a good thing, because now you weren't in the position. Now you're looking. You have these future picks. If you want a star trade, that Mavs pick might look nicer than we thought it was.
Right. Okay.
We're in position to actually trade up. This stuff about Ivy was a little bit difficult when all we had was our own picks and that Mavs pick. Right. It's a little bit more reasonable to start moving into that top 7, top 8 from or wherever we're at.
Joe, when's the last time you seen this Knicks team trade up in the draft?
But the thing is, they have the picks this time.
Well, but I'm saying
They tried for
situation ever where the Knicks have traded up in the draft.
But like they were never going to move up for Ivy and give up a bunch of unprotected picks. The thing is,
but Joe, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that situation. I'm saying ever.
They've never
traded up in the draft ever.
These last 2 drafts, the front office failed, and I don't trust the front office. But
to be fair, going from 11 to 5 is almost impossible in any draft to go that high from where you're starting. So like, if you're going that high, you're going to have to give up tangible assets that are known commodities in the NBA right now.
Like
picks.
And
Quentin Ntilikina wouldn't have pushed the needle for that anyway.
But Dre, this is what I'm trying to get at. Just real quick, I'm just so you're picking. Say the Knicks pick at 13. Say we barely missed the playoffs, right? You're telling me you won't give up 13, Grimes, and maybe RJ to move up to number 4?
I would do that, but why would a team do all of that just to pay RJ when they could just draft someone at 4 better than 2 of those guys, and he's way cheaper, and then you can sign someone that will make up the difference between that. That's a lot to give up just to do that, and a team wouldn't even do that.
If you're the Knicks, that's a lot to give up.
No, it's a lot for a team to take on, because they could just draft a player better than RJ. And then sign a player better than Quentin Grimes. Yeah.
And better than Grimes?
Yeah, sign someone better than Grimes. for a fraction of the cost instead of paying RJ what 25.
See that's an indictment. That's an indictment on our roster. Then
You don't even have to do that though. Like you have to look like the way the Mavs are looking at pick maybe anywhere 14, 15, 16. So as long as it's not top 10, it's going to convey. So like 14, 15, 16. Our pick in suit. Washington's might not. All depends. They've been so up and down this year. You never know where they're going to be.
they lost
They're
7
terrible
in a row,
right now.
bro.
And KP has a back injury, by the way. He left the game with a back injury.
Picks out of the you have all your unprotected picks. You have all future picks. Last year, Quickly and Obi aren't in play. One of Quickly and Obi are in play to move up too, due to extension reasons and wanting to pay money.
Yeah.
So or wanting money, like, and Quickly is probably an option. So you could look at saying, we have all these. We're sitting here at our own pick at 13. We have the Dallas pick. You have all these other picks, and Quickly. You can't tell me that they can't, with all that what they have, get into the top 5 or 6 somehow. You can't, like they have it. Last year's harder to believe with Ivy because they didn't want to trade young players, and they had only their unprotected picks and the Dallas pick. Now they have all this extra stuff, and they're willing to trade a young player or two. They can go up, but it's just make sure it's the right guy. And we're talking about these Thompson twins. I like the Thompson twins, but man, you want to talk about broken jump shots?
Hey, well, easy. Well, Amen Thompson, his shot is just
man,
it's not there. He's terrible, right?
Shot.
Yeah.
But
Asar
Thompson is shooting 43.7% from 3 on decent volume,
like 4 games.
Yeah.
He's the one that plays point, right? Because one plays the point, one plays like the two.
Asur is the wing player. Asur is the wing player.
Okay.
Amen, the point guard is the one with the broken jump shot.
That's the point guard jumper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you really think this front office is going to do a better job this draft coming up? They failed twice already.
I would say failed. You look at you got Deuce, you got Grimes, and Deuce and Grimes have been a big part of our last couple of wins defensively.
Right.
And where you got them was, remember that draft, you had 2 picks, but them picks were like in 19 and 21. And you were able to move back and turn around and get Deuce, extra second round picks to get Deuce and a draft and stash. I think they done pretty all right. Yeah. You didn't have high draft picks, and it was nearly impossible for them to go from 19 and 21 into the lottery to get who they wanted.
They did very okay. I'm not ready to say that.
Is it good?
It was a great. Yeah, I'm saying. Yeah, I would say they're because they officially drafted Keon Johnson and Kai Jones, but both were traded away to move back.
Hey,
right? Kai Jones. Yes, sir.
Both are looking like busts.
I was gonna say, would you have taken Trevor Keels or Johnny Davis? Because Johnny Davis was available, he would have been the worst pick we've probably ever made, even worse than Frank Ntilikina.
Oh, Johnny Davis is a disaster, bro.
Actually, Trevor Keels in the G League is better than Johnny Davis.
Right
as we speak.
I'm crazy. If he was there at 11, I don't think they were trading back. I think they were taking him.
Johnny Davis,
they were going to take him. They were going to take him, and I would have rather those 3 protected picks over taking Johnny Davis. So
I wouldn't mind Johnny Davis on draft night, but we talked about this leading into the draft, Freezy. We were like, if he hits, he's going to be Devin Booker, but if he doesn't, he's just going to be a shrunk down RJ Barrett.
RJ Barrett, yep. And you'd have 3 Julius Randles on the floor at one time. RJ Barrett, Johnny Davis.
You mean 4? You mean 4 of them? You mean 4 of them?
Yeah. Well,
Jalen Brunson is a power forward too. He just 6'1".
Right. Oh, Trey. I meant to tell you this too, bro.
Yeah.
If Jalen Brunson is 6 foot tall, then I'm 6 foot tall, bro.
No, you mean you 7 foot.
Joe, listen to me, right? You know, I don't BS you. I don't shoot you the gas. I don't have to. You know what I'm saying? But if Jalen Brunson is over 6 foot tall, I'm 6 foot tall, bro.
Jalen Brunson's 6 foot tall in high heels.
Basically. We saw him at the game. I was like, what? This dude is 5'10". Easy.
Oh, I've seen him in the Garden. I even question is he 5'10". I sometimes look at him as like 5'8", 5'9" best.
Yeah, this dude is nowhere.
He's tiny.
Now, if this dude is nowhere near 6'1",
That's look very small.
this dude is, bro, and I don't mean that because it's not about the size of the fight. It's about the size of the fight and the dog and all them sayings that old man used to say back in the day, right? But since we were talking about Brunson, bro, man, nah, bro, nah, don't, nah. We were sold a bill of good. Now, RJ may be 6'6", 6'7", right? Randall is definitely Randall. And when I saw him standing next to Mitch, Mitch is probably 3 to 4 inches taller than Randall. So if Mitch is 6'11", then Julius Randle is definitely 6'8".
They
You know what
list
I'm
Mitch
saying?
as 7'1", if I'm not mistaken. So he's probably shorter
7'1".
than that. Yeah, they list him at that, but he's
He's
probably
all
like
with shoes
It's
though.
pretty tall.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
it's like
saying. So he's
7
probably
foot.
six. He's probably 6'11" and a half without shoes or something like that.
Yes.
He still be clumsy under the rim.
What
Hey,
I'm a
you,
little bit salty though about the front office though was they were so focused on Ivy that they missed out on trying to even move up for Ben Mathurin.
Ben Mathurin, that's the guy I
And
had been
we talked
saying.
about him being the diamond in the rough in the draft. If anyone was going to hit, it would have been him.
Man, I would have went after Shaden just off the potential alone because he right now he's probably what we think Cam would have been at this current moment. And even though he plays limited minutes, he still shows like a lot of flashes, a ton of flashes for Portland.
Yeah, but he just the one thing though was the lack of film and the
The
stuff with
latter, yeah, lack
college
of
gave me
tape,
kind of
lack of
it
tape.
gave me Kevin Knox type vibes, us moving up for a low motor guy. But
But I wouldn't even say he's low motor. It's like when Knox, you could see he was low motor, and they force fed him at Kentucky. They just kept putting him off of curls over and over and over. He wasn't creating his own shot for nothing for that team.
Right. Right.
hey, you guys want a quick NBA scores update?
Sure. Come on.
All right. Miami beat Indiana 87-82. Brooklyn beat the Wizards 112 to 100. Memphis beat the Hawks 128 to 103. Dallas beat OKC 121 to 114. The Spurs beat Cleveland 112 to 111. Trailblazers beat the Timberwolves 133 to 112.
Wow.
And the Clippers beat the Celtics 113 to 93.
That's 2 in a row.
There's your NBA scores update.
Thanks,
All
Adam.
those games are finals, by the way.
Appreciate you, bro. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say this, man, about the draft and Joe and Dre. And listen, man, y'all know what it is. Y'all know I value y'all opinion, right? And I think y'all are spot on with y'all analysis. But
Yeah.
I just don't think the Knicks are capable of doing the things that y'all say they should do.
Oh yeah, they don't. I was gonna say they don't have the balls with that. I guess it's just Knicks at night. I could just say that. They don't really have the nuts to do it. They don't have the stones. That is so. It's like they're always just
Knicks
guiding
fans,
their
I think, could run the team better than any front office that's run it over the last while. Knicks fans have spotted out talent. How much talent have we called out over the last couple of years for Easy in the draft? Like, I wanted to move up for the Mellow Ball. Like, we talked about, who else is it? Mathurin was another one we talked about,
Yep.
and Ivy. They're going to look to pan out. Like, and what other draft was it that we wanted to move up? It was Duarte. Remember we talked about Duarte?
Yep.
Like, we're spotting talent, but they're not spotting the talent and wanting to move up for it. To me, it doesn't make sense. It's They're so conservative and they're so star driven. I do agree with you, Freezy. I don't even think that they'll try and move up. I'd be more inclined. I think that they'd be more likely to trade back again in this draft.
Yeah.
To get more picks because they want the surefire, can't miss star. They want the guy that's already made. They don't want a kid, and they're afraid he busts.
Like Joe, like this. The best part about this front office is the scouting. That's the only part that I give credit to because we can find NBA talent virtually anywhere in the draft. It's just we never really take the crack at the high end NBA talent, which I want to see if the scout can like. I want to see if this this regime with our scouts can find the next superstar in the draft, but you're not gonna really get a consistent shot at it if we're just gonna take the high floor player at the lower parts of the draft. Like you have to take a crack at the high ceiling. And the easiest place to find that is top 10 in the draft, but we don't really take those risks to trade up into the
But
top
not
10.
even at that. Like Donovan Mitchell, 13. Like Shea gets down to 11. Like you can move up if we're like say 13, 40, 50 into them spots and find the guys.
Right.
You can do it. We've just passed on them. Like we
But then
passed
you would
on
have
guys.
to,
These are
you would
guys
have
that
to,
we're looking to trade for.
but Joe,
We
like for those
passed on.
guys, for like Donovan Mitchell is an outlier because most of the rookie of the year guys don't usually end up drafted 13. Like the guys that you're talking like Shea, those guys take 2, 3, 4 years of development to be who they are. And I don't even have faith in this team to develop, like to take the time to make a guy a legitimate all NBA caliber star, homegrown. Like I don't like that's why I'm like, if we're gonna get the Donovan Mitchells that get drafted 13th and end up in the rookie of the year conversation, that rarely happens when you're drafted that low. It doesn't really happen. It usually
Well,
happens
that's
to the
the
guys
vote.
that are top 10,
No,
top 5.
but the thing, just real quick, the thing about Donovan Mitchell is nobody questioned his ability to play NBA basketball.
It was a
Everybody
size.
knew that he could. Yeah, it was the fact that he measured 6'1.5" without shoes on.
Mhm.
That was the only thing.
And he didn't have the playmaking ability he has now because they were already worried, he's just going to be an undersized 2 guard.
Right.
And
They didn't
they had
know.
questions for his shooting as well. Like he improved his jump shot by a ton.
And it wasn't. And even with that, Dre, it was not can he create his own shot. It was the fact what happens when he releases the ball.
Yep.
Because they knew he could get his own shot anytime he wanted to. Right? But is this dude going to be Dwayne Wade or is he going to be Sean Westbrook? That's the
No,
question.
Dwayne Wade or what's the guy that got drafted from Syracuse? Deion Waiters. Dwayne Wade or Deion Waiters?
Oh, Deion Waiters. Yeah. Basically. Basically.
And I feel like
Adam.
go ahead. I'm getting
So I want to ask Dre and Joe, and Freezy, you can answer this as well.
Thank you, man.
You guys really want to see the front office bring players from the draft to this team, or you really want to see the front office go after NBA star players?
Well, I'll answer first. I'm all for talent acquisition. I want the best available talent here, whether it's already a star or someone that I can see being a star. It doesn't necessarily matter to me if it's a rookie that's someone drafted top 5 of the draft or Shea Gilgeous. I just want high end talent on this team, and whatever seems to be the easiest way to get an all NBA caliber player for here, it may seem to be through the draft. In my opinion, it's through the draft because I don't believe this front office can trade for that type of player. But I want that type of player on this roster. And it doesn't really matter which way. I just think maybe the draft is the easiest way. But as we've seen, we don't even do a great job of drafting. So it's just, but that's on past regimes and past scouting where we draft whatever. So yeah, go ahead.
Right, and just want to clarify a thing just real quick with what Dre said. So Dre said it perfectly, but for our ears, I want to make sure that we hear what Dre said in the right context. Right? So we're not great drafters, we're above average to good drafters. Right? You know what I'm saying? So when we say this team is not great, it doesn't mean they're bad. It just means they're not great. You know what I'm saying? Because when you look at Quentin Grimes, who would I rather have right now, Quentin Grimes or Herb Jones?
Or who? Because you might cut out. What did you say?
Herb Jones.
Quentin Grimes. Oh, Herb Jones for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Herb Jones for sure.
Right. And Herb Jones, think about how many times the Knicks passed on Herb Jones twice with the Grimes pick and with the Rokas Jokibitis pick. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So who would you rather have? I would trade Rokas Jokibitis and Quentin Grimes both for Herb Jones right now. And it's not because I dislike Grimes, right? Don't get it twisted. It's what Herb Jones offers when you talking about a guy that can guard 1 through 4.
That defensive versatility is astounding.
Yes.
It's like Grimes can guard guys on the perimeter and fight his way through screens. But once you get that 6'8", 6'9" wing that wants to post him up, there's literally nothing he can do. Nothing at all.
Yeah.
So it's like you can see the changes that he does, like the changes that he does offer to us defensively. You can see it on a game to game basis, but there's levels to it, bro. Like there's you can't make up for length or height. You can't make up for that.
Because Grimes is the best screen manipulator and on defense on our team. Grimes
Maybe McBride can match up a little bit.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that the second best is probably McBride, right? Where Grimes is a physical screen getter overer kind of. McBride is like the Matrix. It's hard to screen him, and then when you do screen him, he's so quick, and he's so quick. He has spatial quickness, but not floor quickness. If you understand what I'm saying.
He has like a sixth sense to when to rotate and when to stick his head in. He's like, whereas Grimes tries to keep to his body, tries to keep to the defender's body,
and
shuffle his
Grimes
feet.
is a physical defender too, by the way.
Yeah,
I saw him. I saw him on Oubre, bro. Oubre was so mad at Grimes. And does Oubre have an attitude or something?
Yeah. He's a bit of a dramatic kind of player. Like he's emotional.
Because Grimes was in his shirt, and Oubre looked like he wanted to fight.
Like what Grimes does, like he shuffles his feet and he makes sure he puts his chest on the offensive player as much as possible. Because that I feel like there's a lot of tape that you can watch, but I feel like a lot of what Grimes does, he may watch a lot of tape from Drew Holiday, where Drew Holiday tries to shuffle his feet, and Drew Holiday legitimately plays defense with his chest. So if you throw your chest out there enough, the ref can't really call it because you're already in position, and you're already leaning on the offensive player and trying to dictate where they're going and pushing them off their spot. And I feel like he mirrors a lot of what Drew Holiday does.
Ooh, Dre, you know what?
I mean, Grimes just needs to get that shot going. If that shot starts falling, he's definitely going to be valuable.
Yeah, he's frank, bro.
Yeah, I mean, he's frank, absolutely, because his offense is. If he had offense, he would be way better than Frank. But Frank was all defense and no offense.
If he had offense, he'd be a top 20 player. But genetics don't present that, bro. You know what I'm saying? If he was 20 points a game with that defense, he's top 20 player.
If he had the same defense and some offense, he would be Desmond Bain. That's what he would be.
And what if his offense matched his defense? What would he be?
Oh, he would be an All-NBA player. If it was 1 for 1, he would be an All-NBA player. But we can't all have it all. There's only but so many Kawhis out here and Paul Georges.
You have to wonder, what is it going to take for this front office to finally show Knicks fans that they're doing something good? What is it going to take for this front office to show us that they're willing to go out there and bring some assets to this team to make us a contender team to compete in the playoffs?
They gotta pay there too, and not panic with these picks, and go out and get one to just panic like with these picks because they didn't get the star.
Okay.
If you panic with the picks, you end up in a Chicago Bulls situation where you get Vucevic for 2 firsts, and he doesn't move the needle enough, and then you got to rely on aging vets to have career years to also supplement your star that's injury prone. It's like they have like so many issues, and there's nothing really sustainable over there.
He come in and went ruthless. He come in and went 2K. Like he was like, all right, give me give me Vucevic, then I'm going to get DeRozan, then I'm going to get Ball, and he went in all crazy, and just it does not look good for him right now.
The move they should have did was add Vucevic, add Terrence Ross to the Vucevic move, and they'd be in a lot better place right now.
What they should have done was they should have traded for Julius Randle with them instead. Them picks.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, Julius Randle probably would help them a ton more because he's not the defensive liability Vooch is at all.
That's the package I wanted for Randle. I was like, that's unprotected 2 picks. That's what I'm looking for Randle.
Because the Magic are sitting pretty right now.
For Vucevic, the Knicks should easily get 2 picks for Randle right now if they wanted to. When you look back at that trade. Because what was Vucevic? Sub mediocre, like a bottom end all-star putting up numbers in an average team to below average team.
Yeah. Basically an 8th seed at the time. Like, just putting up numbers.
Is Frank and Quentin Grimes the same age?
Yeah, I think Quentin Grimes is older than RJ. I do know that. So I think
well, he was RJ's draft class.
Yeah, but he's
no. Quentin Grimes was after RJ. He was just older than RJ.
He was meant to be RJ's draft class and he went back to college. I remember he was meant to be a top 5 pick in that draft.
Yeah.
And then he went to college for 3 years. He had to transfer and did 2 at Houston.
Yeah, but RJ was drafted the year, 2 years after Frank?
Yeah. And Frank was like 18 when we drafted him, or one of the youngest guys in the draft. So I think, so they should be both 23 or something like that. Right now.
Maybe Frank is 24 and Grimes is 22.
I think Grimes is 20. Well, Grimes should be turning 23 because I know for a fact he's a year older than RJ.
Okay.
So it's quickly.
Okay.
The Lakers are interested.
I'll look up the ages right now.
The Lakers are interested in Cam. Is that true?
Do it.
I saw.
I would do it. Yeah.
What are we getting? I know we want seconds, but I'm like, what are we getting out of it? Because the way it looks like they're looking to get Fournier too in that deal. So the only way it works is if it's not a Russell Westbrook trade with a load of money, or send a load of money and we get by Westbrook.
Then we have to throw Derrick Rose in there as well, but they already got like 18 point guards, even with
all of them, all the have flaws.
Yeah, but Cam and Fournier can't happen without Pat Bev's contract.
Right, and they gave Patrick Beverly an extension, so he's due to be traded on the 15th if they wanted to trade him.
He's
a troublemaker.
Them trades could happen soon enough, but like Pat Bev, I think he's making like $13 million. But for Fournier and Cam to go to the Lakers, because the Lakers, all their money is top heavy. It's LeBron, AD, Westbrook, Pat Bev, and then that's it. It's all their minimum contracts.
Yeah.
But like,
okay, so my bad. Go ahead, go finish, Joe.
Sorry.
Finish what you were saying. Okay.
No, it's okay, bros. No, I was just saying, what can we get out? What do we get out of the Lakers for Cam? Or if it's not dumping Fournier, what do we get? Because the Lakers aren't willing to give up picks. I think they're very.
We'll get Lonnie Walker.
They actually like Lonnie Walker over there. They like him.
Lonnie Walker's not a bad player.
Third best player. I know.
Yeah. I would say Austin Reeves does a little bit more for them on a game-to-game basis. Austin Reeves is pretty solid for them, but they have issues behind their top two guns. They have like a real depth issue.
How do you guys like Scottie Pippen Jr.? Do you like Scottie Pippen Jr.?
No. I mean, I would take him, but it's like.
Scottie Pippen Jr. for Cam Reddish straight up.
No. I think Cam Reddish has more value.
Yeah, you're gonna have to give me a call.
Cam Reddish has actually done something at this level. Albeit
Cam,
it's not a ton. He's done something. Scottie Pippen
um,
Jr. has done nothing at the NBA level.
what about Max Christie?
Nah.
Doug Christie's son. So we get Doug Christie's son and bury him on the bench like we did his father.
I'm thinking. Oh yeah, and just to answer, Frank Ntilikina is 24. Grimes turns 23 May.
Okay. All right.
You nearly gave me a heart attack. I was like, you can't tell me Grimes. You just drafted him last year and he's the same age as Frank. I'm like, is it, was that another Obi Sexton, a 23-year-old rookie?
Yeah.
Our 22-year-old rookie. I'm like, Jesus. Like, 'cause that's the thing about Obi. That scares me. That dude's going to be, 25 this year?
And he's
going to get...
He's his prime and he hasn't even played yet.
I mean, if we're keeping it a buck, we talking about the guy that you wanted to draft that went to the Pacers, the Dominican player. He's older than Obi. Yeah, Duarte is an older player. But there shouldn't be a knock because you can get solid, known role players at that time because, Cam Johnson came out of UNC at, 24 or 23?
23, yeah.
And Mike Bridges came out
Cam
at 22.
Cam Johnson's thing was injuries and a whole bunch of other stuff, though. True. Cam Johnson was like a whole bunch of. You kind of feel sorry. You kind of like the Cam Johnson story, though. You know what I'm saying?
And Cam Johnson is trying to fight his way back from a meniscus. They took the meniscus out because he wants to get paid.
Right.
So he's coming back. He could have took the longer route with his meniscus injury, but he knows he has to get paid. So he's gonna sacrifice his knee for this off season.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And nobody's gonna sign him, bro. How do you? Yeah, nobody's gonna sign him long term after that. When they know
I give him some sort of deal.
Injury.
If his number was low enough, I'd give him a 3 or 4 year deal on a low number for Cam Johnson. If the Suns want to cheap out on him,
I'd trade him right now for Obi.
Trade
Cam Johnson for Obi. Oh, yeah. If you're doing that from the Suns' perspective, from the Suns' perspective,
if you're the Knicks, you're like, okay, with Cam Johnson, I can play him and Randall together. But if you are the Knicks, you're looking at Obi and Randall. You're like, you can't play them together because Obi can't play small forward and he can't play center.
Yep.
So even if Randall is the center in the lineup you want it to be, if the opposing team sees that and runs a pick and roll and switches Randall to the perimeter, and now Obi is the rim protector, you still, bruh.
They got to make that. That's another decision they have to make because Randall, the way Randall's looking. And I think it's kind of, we need to come to reality. As much as I'm not a big fan of Randall's game, I have to come to reality. It looks like he ain't going anywhere. So what are they doing with Obi?
Does Zach LaVine want to be traded out of Chicago?
I don't know. He just signed an extension.
I mean, yeah, he's going to take that $200 million regardless, no matter who. But he has said snarky things about his head coach. Which they extended their head coach before the season even started.
He had problems with the last head coach too.
Who was the last head coach? Boylan's or something like that. Boylan,
yeah.
Jim Boylan.
He was bad. He was a bad coach, but he had a lot of problems with him too. So that's. And then didn't Zach have a little bit of animosity? I think he's good with Tibbs now, but I think there was a couple of back and forths when they were at Minnesota too.
Yeah, because he played religiously. Tibbs ran Cat, Wiggins, and Levine 38 minutes a night, every single night. Just because. And
love it. Imagine that Tibbs had Wiggins, Towns, and Levine, and it didn't do nothing.
He traded. He tore
at least 2 of them on the Knicks.
Well, to be fair, Levine tore his knee while they were progressing. They were kind of figuring out their identity. They weren't great, but he tore his knee up, and then it was Tibbs was like, you know what? I'm gonna just trade him off and get my man Jimmy Butler in here.
Yeah.
so it reduced the cost on getting Jimmy Butler. And as far as picks, because he was the GM at the time, so he traded him and like a few picks for Jimmy Butler, and then they went to the playoffs, and then now
Yeah, and then
they're in the predicament
Jimmy
now.
walked around the gym telling them they all sucked, and then he got moved or left. Then moved to Philly.
And Tibbs like tried to bow and let Jimmy do anything he wanted because he needed Jimmy. He gave up so much for him, so he had to get him back. Luckily, he didn't give up so much that they had the chance to draft Anthony Edwards, which saved them. But for the inevitable, because now they're probably gonna have to trade Cat and probably gonna have to trade Cat to recoup assets because that team is not gonna win anything in the long term or
Yeah,
short term.
I don't want no part of Cat. I'd lose my shit if they traded for Cat.
Man, Knicks fans want Cat bad, man, and I'm just like,
I like Cat offensively, but the same thing. He's basically a bigger Julius Randle on defense. I don't need Julius and him.
He's a better shooter version of Julius. Like that's legit what he is.
Yeah,
but
better shooting Julius. Yeah.
But I think Julius can actually play defense when engaged. Cat physically cannot play defense. Like he tries to close out on shooters, like forwards that can shoot. He just looks awful, and that's why their defense has been bad when he was there because he can't play perimeter defense. But when they were at their best last year, he was playing center, but they traded for a center, which is like not conducive. So like they're like in the playoffs, like if they were to make the playoffs, they would be a quick out because their bigs would get exploited easily.
What do you think? What do you think about holding on to picks and just staying where we're at, staying just above water around 500 for another year or two, and let this thing cook while looking at the rest of the league? Because I think in the next 2 years, Ant-Man's going to start pushing to get out of Minnesota. LaMelo Ball's going to start pushing to get out of Charlotte, and Luka's going to start pushing to get out of Dallas.
But the thing is, it's harder to say what
one of the three in the next 2 years are going to be like, all right, I'm done. I don't think all three of them are going to be where they're at. So
it's harder to say. It's harder to say with LaMelo and Ant because usually guys don't want to say anything until they get their contract. They want to get their supermax first before they even enter in that conversation because they want to get that security. If you notice, like all the guys that get moved, they're on their second deal. It's very rare a guy gets moved off of his first deal if he's viewed as like a potential top 20 type player. So they want the security first and foremost. They want that first. So
you still get the security though, I guess, with a move. The team that's trading for you, if they trade a lot, they're gonna pay you the same.
Yeah, but Joe, they want to get that supermax immediately.
That's it. The team that didn't draft them can't give the full super, right?
Yeah, but I mean, if you have their birds rights, sure. But
they can give the money in year. They can give the money in dollars. They can't give it in years.
Yeah. So
they can't get a fifth year.
Yeah. They can't get the like you see how Darius Garland got 5 years, 197.
Yeah.
You can't get that if he gets traded before. We can just give him 4 years, but we can give him the same AAV, but like we can't give him the same amount of years. So they want to lock that in for they want to lock in that over the top generational wealth, and then they can do that a year or two down the line when they say they're unhappy and they want to move on. But it's something. But like Luka has autonomy to figure that out. Now, next year, the year after that, like he can do that whenever he wants.
If I knew in 2 years Luka was going to on out and the Mavs were going to have to trade him, I wouldn't touch one pick or any of these players in this roster. I'm holding on to everything because then when Luka asks out, I'm throwing everything at him, at Mavs to get him.
It's basically kind of what the Clippers did with Kawhi because they knew Kawhi wanted to come, period. So they were just like, I'm going to just bide our time. We can compete in the now, but we're not really going to do too much to mortgage our future. We're going to get Kawhi and then trade everything for Paul George at that point.
Well, it's like when San Antonio knew Kawhi wanted to play for the Lakers,
Yeah.
right? And San Antonio was like, "We're not trading you to the Lakers." And Kawhi like, "Yeah, I want to play for the Lakers." They like, "We're not trading you to the Lakers." And Kawhi was like, "But I want to play for the Lakers." And San Antonio was like, "We're not trading you to the Lakers." Matter of fact, if we trade you, we're gonna trade you out of the country. How about that?
He send you to Canada, and he win it, but he still wins a chip.
But he still was a chip because he's Kawhi, right? Because he's Kawhi.
Would you like to see Leon Rose go and sign Carmelo?
No.
Man, it serves no purpose.
It doesn't look like any
This
team.
is every year.
It doesn't look like
Melo
any team
left.
is interested in Carmelo.
We just now figured out our defense. You want to bring Melo here?
No, he didn't say he
No,
wanted
no,
Melo. He
I
asked
know.
the
I'm messing.
question.
I'm messing with Adam. I know what he meant. I'm just messing with him.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like any team in the NBA is going to go and sign Carmelo. So if I'm Carmelo, I would just retire because he ain't going to get signed.
That's a good point in the chat. Travis said Halliburton got moved, but I don't think the Kings thought he would be this good.
Right, and two, when the Kings drafted Halliburton, they never drafted him to be the long-term answer at point guard, bro.
Yeah,
Never
damn
had
it
a
was.
long-term answer at point guard.
He was an asset. He was the best player available at 11. They said, let's take him, see what he is, and then if he's good, we can move him.
And
Get
that's
something
what,
for him.
and that's what the Knicks should have did this summer. Even if you wasn't going to play, even if your plan ultimately was to play Mitch and Hartenstein and Sims, right? Even if your plan was to give Cam Reddish some run, you could have still drafted, kept Ousmane Dieng, and you still could have kept Jalen Duren, and then flipped somebody as an asset.
How would they kept Jalen Duren and had Dang? They wouldn't have been able to make the trade.
Roster size. I think we already had too many contracts at that point too.
No, but the Duren thing is like, Joe. I understand where you're going, Joe, because we included the picks we got in the OKC thing. But remember, we had a surplus of picks before the draft. It's not like it's not like we didn't have a surplus of picks before we selected Ousmane Dieng. We already had a surplus. Man, we got Dallas pick this year. We had that before the draft. We could have. I mean, I understand where you're going with it because of the picks that we used. You know what I'm saying? We used the picks in that trade in order to do instead of at 11 and then at 14. I get what you're saying. But bro, if it's one of them things, man, I seriously have to consider, is the talent that I took, is Jalen Duren worth is more valuable than the draft pick that you got from the Washington Wizards?
Well, see, you got to work out technically when everything was added up. You can with 3 protected picks.
Okay.
So to me, for the Knicks right now, having Mitch and you drafted Sims the year before, the 3 protected picks are more valuable than Duren.
Okay.
And Duren might be more valuable to Detroit than them picks would have kind of. It all depends on the team because we do have Mitch. And I get Mitch wasn't extended at the time, but I think there was all a signal.
But he was in the plan. I think
he was going to be extended.
Yeah, he was. I think they had already agreed to terms and all that stuff already.
He was going to be extended by then.
Yeah,
that's why I didn't kind of took people a shot for a second when they were like, "Wait, the Knicks traded back into the draft for Duren." People were like, "What? See, but that's what people were complaining, and then they were complaining when they traded him away.
Yeah, we complain a lot though, bro.
Yeah, well, why we trading all these second rounds? We don't need a big man. Why are we trading them away?
Right. It's like we arguing both sides of the point at the same time.
You wouldn't bring Luka Doncic here to the Knicks, Joe?
Oh man, I give up the next decade.
I would, man. I would break the Stipien rule and trade every single pick for the next 6 years. What do you mean?
Oh, the next 10, I trade the whole 15-man roster. They can have. I give Mavs shares in the Garden. My God, to have Luka.
I'd put the Mavs logo in the middle of the Garden floor.
Like Mavs are the worst team in basketball without Luka. You take Luka off that roster, they're worse than Detroit. They're worse.
Lotto, big time Lotto.
If they lose Luka, they have the number 1 pick, bro.
Oh boy.
Hey man, oh man,
And
I
this
don't,
is
I don't know, I don't know. For
here
some reason, I
to
do think he wants
get
to
the
be in
pick
New York for
protected.
some reason.
Oh, Luca?
Go ahead,
Yeah.
go ahead, Joe. Say it again.
No, it was like out of the 2 picks, I was like 2 years ago, we got Grimes technically got Grimes out of one of their picks and it was protected or unprotected. Right. And this year when Mavs looked the worst they've looked and the low Luke is carrying, and this is the year that the pick had to be protected.
Yeah.
I don't see Luca coming to the Knicks.
I don't think that just because Luca exists, they're not going to have a top 10 pick. Just because he's playing a basket.
Yeah.
Like the only way it would go that way is if he gets hurt. That's about it. But if he's playing, they're never going to get a top 10 pick.
But the thing I would say to the without Luca thing, without Luca, their second best player is Spencer Dinwiddie.
You wonder if Luca wants to play with Jalen again.
The third best player is that center off the bench, center power forward.
Christian Wood.
Christian.
Yeah. Do you think Luca wants to be teammates with Jalen Brunson again? Here in New York? That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Western Conference Finals together.
Yeah, they went to the Western Conference Finals, but I feel like if you were to try to move somewhere, he'd want to tag team up with another All NBA performer, not a nice player. You like my whole logic with Luka is after a certain point he's going to stop wanting to be around role players and solid players. He's going to want to switch into I need to have like a top 10 caliber player alongside type thing.
Yo, I got a theory. Y'all gonna like this one. Jaylen Brown free agency 2024 Luka Doncic trade.
Oh my God.
Jaylen Brown, Luka Doncic.
I would pass out. I would pass out. But the thing is like Jaylen Brown's cap number is going to be so much higher that he's going to have to opt out. They can't give him a regular extension. So he's going to be he's going to be a real free agent. And he's going to get a max. And probably by then he'll be an all NBA. He's an all NBA player right now, so he's going to be a candidate for a supermax.
Mm-hmm. And Boston can't give him anywhere near that because the way they extended him was kind of like when we extended RJ, we didn't give him a max deal. So I think the way the percentages go up, he has to, for him to get what he wants and get what he wants, he has to hit free agency. And I think there's a little bit of animosity there because they've tried shipping him out 3 or 4 times.
The same thing Zach LaVine did, basically, where Zach LaVine opted out just to get his supermax.
Yep.
That's my goal right there. Waiting for Luka to get a little bit Nancy and waiting for Jaylen Brown then hit free agency, and that's where I'm pouncing. That's where all my assets are going, bro.
Then you should be in asset management, talent acquirement mode. And asset management.
You start trading back more and more picks each year over the next 2 years. Lottery pick this year, okay, ship it out for more.
I'm gonna keep it real Freezy. Us trading that 11 pick is probably way more valuable than any guy we would have taken.
Agreed.
Those three unprotected are more valuable than Ousmane Dieng, in my opinion.
I'm gonna say this:
unless Ousmane Dieng turns into a superstar, then I'm wrong. Then I'm absolutely wrong.
Well, prepare to be wrong, right? Because the thing about trading back and getting more assets, only teams that are not in win now mode do that, right? Teams that want to win right away, they bring in players to help the players that they have on the floor, right? So at the 11th pick, you didn't necessarily have to take Ousmane Dieng, right? You could have taken AJ Griffin, a player that's ready to play now. Now, what people will say is you can't take AJ Griffin right there, right? How about you trade back in the draft, trade back to where Atlanta is, acquire another asset, and then take AJ Griffin? Can the Knicks use
but knowing,
all around
yeah.
wing player that can shoot the three?
Well,
Nope.
the way the Knicks were viewing Grimes that an entire summer was that he was the all around wing player that can shoot a three.
Except he's a guard that doesn't do
I
guard
mean,
stuff.
but he's the same. What? How tall is Adrian Griffin? 6'5", 6'6"? He's 6'5".
It's 6'6". Right.
Is he 6'6"? He looks a lot shorter than
Yeah.
6'6". But he
Because-
kind of
because he's
he
athletic.
has that. Yeah, and he has that like he has that bold stance that like Jimmy Butler has, where
Right.
he's not like all the way standing upright. He has like almost like a naturally crouched stance, like he's always ready to play
Like
defense or
Zion.
something.
Yeah,
like
like
he's
Zion.
always ready to play defense.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man.
Yeah.
He's
ESPN lists
6'6"
Grimes as Grimes is listed at 6'4", 210 on ESPN.com.
and he's really like 6'3".
Yeah. Yeah.
It would be nice to see Leon Rose go after Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo from Miami.
I don't know what Miami's doing, man, but they ain't traded neither one of them. They're in win now mode, and they're gonna make a move to try to get someone. Like they're like looking to try to get John Collins or something like that.
Really?
Funny enough, yeah,
Miami.
yeah. They need a power forward badly.
That Kyle Lowry deal, oh boy, that looks very bad for them. Making that move
Horrendous.
for him.
But it was all a win now move because if we're looking at the same years, Jimmy Butler is not too far off in age from Kyle Lowry.
No.
He's like legitimately like 2 years younger than Kyle.
Yeah.
So it's like they're all in on trying to maximize the last remaining bit left of Jimmy's prime.
Yeah, and see, but the Kyle Lowry deal itself is not the albatross role. It's the other, like Duncan Robinson.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. The thing with them is like a lot of their undrafted players in their second rounders regressed a ton.
Yeah, yeah.
They regressed. They were expecting them to just play at a certain baseline.
Your Gabe Vincent, your Gabe Vincent disappeared. The the Uvertson guy, that guy. Remember he balled a little bit for them last year.
Yeah.
Strauss.
Your Victor Oladipo at some point was giving them anything.
He's still giving them nothing right now as we speak.
Right. You're right. And your Caleb Martins is only a hustle player, and he's undersized.
Oh, by the way, that's another guy that got re-signed that's going to be moved by the deadline.
Yeah.
What's his name? Victor Oladipo, because he got re-signed for a little bit of money.
Thank you.
They're gonna trade him at the chip deadline too, because he looks washed.
Probably to the Wizards. To the Wizards were hot and heavy for Victor Oladipo. In the beginning, they always wanted Victor Oladipo, right? They always wanted him.
With the way the Wizards are headed right now, when KP got hurt, and they lost like 8 of the last 9 games or something like that. They might blow it up just so they don't have to give us the pick. They might just actually they might tell Beal, hey man, just, wrap it up, man. You don't really got to play every night. There's going to be a few wink injuries.
If they do that to Beal, I think he'll ask out.
No, I think they need to move him anyway. I think they done the right thing. Lock him down, see what happens, and trade him.
But the problem is they gave him a no trade clause.
Yeah.
But
they gave him of all people a no trade clause.
Right. And when you look at the Wizards, their roster ultimately is not bad on paper. They just have inconsistency at point guard. Right?
They don't have a point guard for real. I mean, they have their best point guard is really a bench point guard.
Monty Morris. Yep.
Yeah. So it's like they paid him. I don't know, like $10 million.
DeLone Wright is a ball handler, but you can't depend on him.
Yeah, he's a bench point guard as well. He's like the floor general you bring off as your first guy off the bench for a good playoff team, which they were.
The race to the bottom this year is going to be real.
Yeah.
Like as they said, like this is going to be no tank like no other tank before, because who the two boys at the top are.
Spurs
Like
already set up.
goes number one in any draft. Bar he has generational LeBron James, maybe more better than more generational than LeBron James ahead of him.
Bro, hey man, I'm guaranteeing, I'm willing to bet a ham sandwich to all you guys in the chat that San Antonio is gonna get the number one pick, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah. They get the generational big all the time.
all the time, all the league sets it up that way. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's David Robinson, because David Robinson and Victor Wembanyama are kind of similar in a sense. Their offensive game is not similar. Their defense is very similar, right?
But their fluidity for their size and their frame is very similar. Because he's not like, I remember there was a center that got drafted in the '80s to the Rockets. Tall guy, very skinny. You know what I'm talking about. Before Hakeem, Ralph Sampson. And like he doesn't have like the Ralph Sampson frame. He has the wide shoulders, like David Robinson, like the wide shoulders, like the big frame where
like this dude legit is gonna put on 40 pounds in the first
of
3
muscle.
years in the NBA.
Yeah, he's gonna put on that muscle, and because of how fluid he moves, it doesn't like he has almost like a stretched out frame of Giannis. Like he has like Giannis but stretched out. Where I don't really get scared of injury like looking at him play, because his frame just looks like he could just be built, and like I wouldn't worry about him.
You get
compared to like
any
go
team
ahead.
in the gym and load him up on protein shakes and look like Giannis, you're gonna have the greatest player to ever play the game. With that, because he's basically going to be Rudy Gobert. He's going to be Giannis and Kevin Durant.
Right, at the same time.
Because he has like a natural feel for the game. He has like a natural feel for the game. Like whereas Giannis had to build his feel up. Like kid had to kidnap him for a summer and teach him some guard skills. This kid, he already has it all right now.
He just has to fill out so he does avoid injury. That's all he has to do. If he gets in the gym and is able to fill out and avoid injury, you have a problem. That's why I was hell bent when I seen them first videos of him last year. I was like, the Knicks should be in on the mix on this. Every team that's not an NBA championship, the GM needs to wake the hell up and tell ownership we're bottoming out. And that's what's going to happen. Like, look at Detroit. Detroit, like, you know what, kid? Go have your season surgery. We can take it from here.
Right.
I have never heard of someone get a shin surgery in my entire life in the NBA.
Let me read the super chat real quick. Hey, Nav, thank you for the generous contribution, Nav. Nav says this coach does not play rookie and barely wants to play second-year players. Ding would get no minutes. I understand that, man. I understand where you're coming from. But if this coach had Victor Wembanyama, either he was going to play Victor or he was going to get fired.
Yeah.
Or he was going to get not only fired, but blackballed out the league. Like this dude, like if Tibbs didn't play Victor W, he would never get another coaching job ever.
Oh, hell, he wasn't going to get one until we gave him one. He wasn't going to get one until we gave him one, if you're keeping it real. He was already blackballed.
Yeah.
Hey, do y'all like Kyle Kuzma?
Yeah.
Kyle Kuzma is cool, but
what price?
That guy's pretty good.
Yeah. Like I saw Shams Charania. He was talking about how his market would be like $20 to $25 million, and it would be basically like paying Harrison Barnes and money, and it would be like when Harrison Barnes was overpaid, that type of money, and it would be like he's not worth that much money.
Well, Drake, I would say to you this though, outside of New York, because y'all know it. Y'all saw me on. I was on with the Hawks, like the We Talk Hawks before the Knicks at Night podcast. That's why I came in kind of late.
Yeah,
bro. A lot of this stuff, bro. Other NBA teams don't talk like New York, bro. Like how we talk. Like, hey, Kuzma's a bum. You know how we talk, right? Other teams just like, I'll give up AJ Griffin and DeAndre Hunter for him right now. And I'm like, what?
I would bring Kuzma to New York.
That sound like a lot. But then when you look at what DeAndre Hunter does, basically DeAndre Hunter for them is a high profile Reggie Bullock. He don't dribble, he don't create his own shot. You depend on him for defense. And tonight against an undersized Memphis Grizzlies team, he had 1 rebound. And just some context real quick. Just some context. They traded up in the draft to pick him. They traded up to the 4 pick to get him. So if you think Knicks fans are mad at RJ Barrett for going 3, just imagine what the Atlanta Hawks fans are saying about the guy that they traded up for at 4.
They paid him, and RJ is worth, as much as we give RJ grief, he's worth his contract more than DeAndre Hunter's worth his contract. And DeAndre Hunter makes like $90 million or something like that.
They gave up on Cam and Kevin Huerter too because they believed in him in order to pay him.
Yep. And so the thing is I made a joke with him earlier when I was on. I was like, well, if y'all would stop drafting Duke small forwards thinking y'all getting Jason Tatum, you know what I'm saying? Y'all wouldn't be in this mess. Every year the Atlanta Hawks draft a small forward out of Duke, bro. That's what it seemed like to me, right?
Jalen Johnson.
Yeah. AJ Griffin, Cam Reddish. I mean, but anyway, what I'm saying is the way we view Kyle Kuzma as snobby, arrogant Knicks fans, and the way the rest of the NBA looks at this talent, bro, it's way different, bro. If you go on these channels and watch, like for instance, there is a market out there. Like I think Atlanta Hawks fans would do John Collins for Obi Toppin straight up.
Oh yeah, they don't actually like John Collins anymore. Like he's worn their welcome, and they're gonna turn on Trae Young at some point too. So.
But my thing is, what has Obi Toppin ever done?
Not
John
a damn
Collins
thing.
was 20-10 a couple of years. Obi ain't done nothing.
They look as Obi as and Ian Begley said it a couple of weeks ago. Teams around the league look at Obi and Quickly as young talents that are being held back on, but their potential being held back due to lack of playing time. More or less, that the Knicks are holding back their talent.
Because
they reckon Obi could explode with time.
If Obi was on OKC, he would put up a stupid amount of numbers.
20-10.
But they wouldn't win that. They wouldn't win anything. But he would put up stupid numbers on the team.
Obi would be 20-10 with them, not because he was killing the league, but because of the pace that they play at. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Up and down the floor. Up and down. Is Obi Toppin better than Kenrick Williams? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's not even up. You know what I'm saying? It's like it is Emmanuel Quickly, and I know this is going to sound crazy, right? But compare Emmanuel Quickly to other guards around the league. Like, is Quickly better than the guard from Brooklyn, the skinny guard that they have?
Which guy?
Dark skin player that you talking about?
The 6'3", not Bones, the other one,
the one that can't shoot.
Cam Thomas.
Yeah. Oh, Cam Thomas. No, he's not better. Well, it depends. No. He's better than Cam Thomas because Cam Thomas doesn't know how to play a lick of defense or play team basketball.
Right.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna head to bed, y'all.
Peace, Joe.
Boss.
All right, bro.
Peace, Joe.
All right, guys. Have a good night. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Now think about what Cam Thomas does, right? Cam Thomas is averaging 7 points a game, playing 15 minutes. And think about the guards ahead of him, right? Think about, man, Seth Curry, Edmund Sumner. Cam Thomas can't beat out Edmund Sumner and Seth Curry.
He rides the bench on that team because he doesn't know how to play defense like at all. Yeah, he was riding the bench majority of the year.
But the question was, is Cam Thomas better than Quickly?
No, in my opinion,
no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Think about the guards like IQ around the league, right? Like is Bones Highland better than Quickly?
I like Bones, man. No,
all right. So
in a vacuum, no, he's not better. No, he's not better. He's a better scorer than Quickly, but that's about it.
Only because he takes more shots than Quickly. Bones Highland is shooting 39% from the floor.
Is he? Where's he right now?
39%.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, 44% from three though.
That's what I was speaking on because his jumper is absurd. He just can't finish in the paint at all because he's just so slight of frame.
Right,
Like anytime he
right,
gets within the 3 point line, that's why he shoots from so far. He shoots threes even further than Quickly did.
right.
You know,
Is what about Colin Sexton? Is Colin Sexton better than Emmanuel Quickly?
No,
no.
right this second, no.
Right.
I would say he's a better scorer than Quickly.
Okay.
That like, you can say that, but he's been coming off the bench because they've been running they've been running Conley ahead of him, but they paid him, so they're gonna make him some part of the future when they trade Conley. You know.
Yeah, and Sexton has started 10 games this season too, bro. But
Yeah, and
but
those
what,
are
what
as of late, like the
yeah.
beginning of the year, he wasn't starting.
No, he won't start. He won't start at all. But my point is though, when you look at Quickly and you compare him to other guards in the league, all these other guards is Quickly is Jose Alvarado better than Emmanuel Quickly?
He's playing better than him right now. Alvarado is playing better than Quickly right now. Objectively, he is.
Okay.
Because he's actually shooting, and he brings a slightly. I wouldn't say his defense is slightly better than Quickly, not by a whole lot, but it's slightly better, and he's shooting better than Quickly. But
Yeah.
to even say that, New Orleans is loaded with talent. They're loaded
Right.
with talent. Like they have scorers on that team. Zion, Zion just existing makes your life easier.
Zion, he's a beast, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Zion is one beast.
Who would you rather have at the moment? At the moment, who would you rather have? Emmanuel Quickly or James Bouknight?
Oh man, quickly, easily, without even thinking. Does Bouknight even play?
Bouknight don't even play, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like of all these dudes around the league, and I'm calling them dudes, right? Of all these dudes around the league, bro, I can't find a better overall player than. Even right now, would I rather have Emmanuel Quickly or Reggie Jackson?
Oh, Emmanuel Quickly.
No, I'd rather
Emmanuel
have
Quickly.
Devin Booker over IQ.
Would I rather
But
have
Devin Booker's a superstar.
John Wall or Emmanuel Quickly? Right
Emmanuel Quickly. Emmanuel Quickly.
John Wall. He's not the John Wall that we know.
Right.
For years ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm
thing
getting
that
at.
drives me so crazy about Quickly is that if his jumper was just what we thought it was going to be, not just a slight level beneath that, he would be completely untradeable because of all the other things that he can do.
Right.
But yeah.
Emmanuel Quickly is averaging 10 points a game right now, and I think his splits are terrible. Yeah, 40%, 31% from three, and 84% from the free throw line. And he's generally a 90% free throw shooter, and he's shooting 84% right now.
I feel like a lot of guys that put on muscle, their jumper takes a step back, and then they figure it out like later down the line as they acclimate themselves to the new weight.
Right.
Because I feel like a lot of that weight he put on, like you can tell in his free throw percentage that it's screwing around with his mechanics.
Like Klay Thompson returning off injury.
Yeah.
Right. A different body type.
Yeah.
Right. You go from runner body Klay, right, to stronger bodied Klay, and you can see the difference in his jump shot.
Oh yeah, because he spent so much time rehabbing his quads, and his calves are a lot bigger now because they have to be bigger to support the injuries to like offset like how much he went through as far as the trauma in his legs, the Achilles and the ACL.
Yeah.
Like usually guys when they have those things, their lower bodies get bigger to support those ligaments.
Right. Right.
You can tell by his shooting.
And his base is different now.
Yeah, his shot timing is getting better.
And you know who has a replica of Klay Thompson's shot?
Who?
AJ Griffin. AJ
Oh yeah,
Griffin.
he has a well, I want to say
The
his
spinning
base at the bottom is a little wider than Clay. Clay has his
yeah,
legs closer,
probably. Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the up top part, yeah, it's identical. But his base is a little wider. Like
Yeah.
I want to say he shoots like from his base. He shoots similar to Donovan Mitchell from his base,
Okay.
or like a set shot. But
Oh,
if he's moving, his jumper looks a lot like Clay. He's like moving off screens, but he doesn't really take that many shots off movement because he's a rookie. He hasn't
right.
earned that. But when he gets hot, he
No.
makes a couple. He starts doing it.
Yeah, he's not gonna sauce you up. He's not. Yeah, he doesn't have the green light yet.
And not with that
Right.
coach, not with Nate McMillan. Nate
No,
McMillan
he's
will pull him out the game quickly.
yeah. To Nate McMillan's discredit, he will snatch you quickly. Right. Yeah, man.
So
Yeah, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Adam.
I think the Knicks front office, they need to kick Leon Rose out of there, Ward West out of there, and they need to bring in a guy that is willing to go out of his way to bring in some veteran stars to New York.
Well, the front office can't kick themselves out. James Dolan
Yeah.
can.
James Dolan has to fire Leon Rose and Ward West out of that office and bring in someone that is willing to bring in players to New York, like KD, Grant, Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, and more. Because we can't keep seeing this next team playing like this and not make the playoffs.
Like to
Leon Rose
to
is
be
not
fair,
gonna make
like
any moves like
those
that.
guys aren't always available. So
That's the
like
problem.
it's hard. It's hard to like
Most
if
of
it
those
was
guys
just
that I
about
mentioned, most of those
yeah
guys that I mentioned is not available at the same time. That's the
Right.
problem.
But Adam, that's what I was trying to convince Dre of earlier in the conversation.
yeah
Right. Like, if you know you want that type of guy, right? You can't go get that guy when he's at his peak value. You have to go get him when he's young, right? You
Yeah.
have to go. You have to go get. You have to go get a Patrick Williams right now. You have to go get a Devin Vassell right now, right? Because they're going to become those guys, right? But once they become those guys, they'll be untouchable to us, right?
yeah.
And historically, if you're the Knicks, have you ever signed a top 10 player ever?
No, no. That we get close, but they end up spurning us like Kevin Durant or LeBron, and it's just like you got to take a chance, like kind of like basically what the Rockets did with Harden, where they were
Right.
like, "I see something in you, but if we wait until you become who we think you can become, we will never be able to afford you or ever
Dre,
bring you in." Yeah.
Dre, and guess what?
What?
I'm gonna say this out loud, and you're probably gonna laugh at me, but we can use it as a running joke, right?
Yeah.
But you know I know basketball, right? I think
Absolutely.
Emmanuel quickly is the next James Harden.
Really?
Yep.
I'm gonna say
And
this. I'm gonna say this, Ruzy. If Quickly's jumper ever pans out to what we think it is,
right,
he can be an elite guard in this league.
right. And I don't mean Dre, hear me out, bro. I'm telling you, bro.
I don't know. IQ needs to show us
The
more.
things that IQ offers you right now, the only thing I thought that stopped Emmanuel quickly from becoming James Harden when he leaves was his handles. But when we were in Charlotte, quickly was putting moves on the Charlotte defense, and the Charlotte crowd was like, "Oh!" all night long, bro. And
he
it just I'm sorry.
like he grew so much from his first year as far as his handle. Like it was rudimentary, but like he has the ball on a string now.
Right.
Legit on
Right.
the string. And
Bro,
you know,
we are gonna mess around, no lie. We are gonna mess around and do something stupid. Like trade Emmanuel quickly to the Orlando Magic a team that has a whole bunch of wing players and bigs that can stretch the floor and do and are versatile. All they need is a guard to orchestrate, and quickly is going to go there and have a James Harden impact.
Man.
I don't know.
The thing is, like, every year,
And in return, we're going to get Mo Bamba. We're going to trade quickly for Mo Bamba,
oh
and
God,
it's going to be the worst trade in Knicks history, bro.
don't say that. But
I know
the
quickly's
thing,
on the trading block. You know quickly's on the trading block.
man, the thing about Quickly is, like, every year he's always the highest metrics. Like, he has the highest metrics on the Knicks. No matter what the context, if he comes off the bench and he starts, he always makes the team have a higher net rating. And that's
Right.
with him being a mediocre shooter. Now imagine
Right.
if he was actually shooting well.
Imagine if he played with confidence. But listen, Daryl Morey saw the same thing in James Harden when James Harden was coming off the bench for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Remember, OKC didn't just have James Harden wasn't just a golden child, bro. OKC had very good guards there. Reggie Jackson was getting 0 minutes.
Nothing.
Reggie Jackson is a very good guard, bro. And in his younger years. But we are gonna mess around and do something stupid like trade Emmanuel quickly to the Washington Wizards for like
Kuzma
their
and pay Kuzma.
Nah, we won't get Kuzma, bro. We wouldn't get that much for quickly, bro. I wish that we could, but they're gonna. Who's on the Wizards right now? I would say that the Knicks are gonna trade Emmanuel quickly to the Washington Wizards for Johnny Davis and Taj Gibson.
Don't
right?
say that, man.
Johnny
Don't do
Davis
it.
and Taj Gibson is the trade, right? And he
That's
is going to
hateful.
go there and have a James Harden type impact on the Washington Wizards because they have all the wing players and shooting you want. They just don't have a guard, a dynamic guard. He's going to go there, and the next thing you know, the Wizards are going to be in the playoffs every year.
Let me respond to that. If what Freezy's saying, if they trade quickly to Orlando for Mo Bamba or Washington Wizards for those two players that Freezy just said, that just tells you right there, this front office doesn't know what they're doing.
No, well, for one, the front office don't know what they're doing.
Exactly.
They don't, man. Because if they did, quickly wouldn't be on the market as a sweetener.
If they make one of those two moves that Freezy suggested, this front office doesn't know what they're doing.
Right. Hey, Mike Boy, feeling me. You know what, Mike Boy? Hey, I'm gonna tell you, I got a trade for you, and it's gonna sound so ridiculous. But when it happens, you're gonna be like, I can see the Knicks doing it, right? Right. I think the Knicks are gonna mess around and do a deal like Emmanuel quickly for a first round pick and Ish Smith.
Come on.
Right? A first round pick in Ish Smith. And what's gonna happen? Chris Paul is gonna retire. Say within a year or two, all right, because he's on decline right now, and y'all don't recognize.
Oh yeah, he's not playing very well. Like,
and it has nothing to do with injury either.
He's just old.
Yep. That contract is going to be an albatross type contract, and Chris Paul's last 2 years, he'll mentor a young up and coming point guard like Quickly, and you'll see Quickly and Devin Booker in Phoenix and regret being a Knicks fan for the rest of your life, bro.
That's terrifying.
God.
Can you imagine? God. Can you imagine? Like we'll get a first round pick now. We'll get a pick for him, but it'll be a late pick because Phoenix is in championship contention, and then we'll also get Clyde Frazier's favorite backup point guard, Ish Smith, right? And they'll get Quickly, and for the next 7 years, you'll be seeing Quickly and Devin Booker together.
Quickly just taking random heat checks. over and over.
Yes. Yes.
I think Quickly's gonna have a part in being teammates with Devin Booker.
And
I
and the
don't I
sad,
don't
the
see
sad
any I
part
don't
is,
see any reality quickly wanting to stay here anyway because we paid a point guard and he wants to start. We know he wants to start. Just
and
Yeah, I think Quickly wants to be a point guard. Yeah.
and truth be told, think about Quickly in year 3. Quickly in year 3 looks to me better than Jalen Brunson in year 3. Right? Now, I know that sounds like cap, right? Oh, why are you saying that, man? You know, he's our point guard. Both of them are players. Nah, man, I'm not saying it like that. What I'm saying is like when you talk to other basketball people around the league, bro, they don't see NBA basketball the way that we do. They see it from a neutral standpoint. Like a lot of teams, they don't hate the Knicks. They're like, yo, why y'all not playing Obi? Why Obi don't get no minutes? And I'm like, I don't. You tell me, right? And they're like, yo, why quickly? Why they go out and get Brunson? Why they just start quickly? I don't know. You tell me. Because at the beginning of the offseason, I thought, well, not at the beginning of the offseason, but at the draft, I thought the backcourt of the future was Emmanuel Quickly and Donovan Mitchell. And right now, nothing can be further from that moment. Like nothing can be further from that moment, bro.
And you can forget about the draft because this front office is going to do even worse at the draft time. When the draft comes around, they ain't going to pick up any draft picks that is going to bring us asset. They failed last year and the year before.
would you guys consider Dame Lillard a point guard in the most true, quote unquote true point guard sense?
Dame is a spectacular point guard.
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider him a playmaker in the sense of like Chris Paul or anything like that though.
And
Like
again,
he looks for a shot.
Dame
Is what I'm saying.
Lillard is a way better point guard than Chris Paul.
yeah.
In my-
Well,
in my- in
right
my
now-
eyes.
I would say this to what you just said, TJ. Depending on how you view the position,
Yeah.
say one is conventional and one is not. Like right now in this moment, I say Chris Paul is not a traditional point guard. Chris Paul is old school.
A relic.
Old school. Yeah, old school point guard. Today's point guard, Trae Young, Darius Garland, Emmanuel Quickly, Steph Curry.
Hyper ball. Well, Steph can assume that role, but for the other guys, they're very ball dominant. We'll take a screen 30 feet away from the rim and we'll shoot the shot from 30 feet away from the rim.
But the thing I was going to say to you is don't look at how much they dribble the ball. Look at their shot percentage per possession, per team possession. So even whether they dribble the air out of the ball or not, are they taking the large majority of their team shots?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. What happens if you give Emmanuel Quickly 15, 16 shots? What if you let Emmanuel Quickly get in rhythm? See, that's one of the things.
We saw that at the end of last season. We saw what happened. We put 30, 10, and 10.
Yeah. What if you let Quickly get in rhythm, bro? You let RJ Barrett take 18 shots a game going to the rim, throwing up bricks off the shot clock? And you think that's going to be better than Quickly?
We might see that if Brunson is out. We might see that for a little short, maybe a week or two, where Quickly he has autonomy to take 17, 18 shots.
If you see that, if you see Quickly do that, bro, I think you'll see the emergence of Quickly. It's like you remember when Russell Westbrook got hurt and I think Pat Bev hurt Russell Westbrook leg. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
And Reggie Jackson came in for like 50 games. Reggie Jackson and Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Reggie Jackson was like, "Yo, this is all you know." You never.
And then he got paid off of that. Pistons paid him $80 million off that.
Bro, the OKC game we played. I was so mad that OKC was wearing blue and orange. I couldn't how y'all wearing orange and blue. This is the first time. This is like when they first got to. Yeah, it's a long time ago. Man, what? Yo, man, this dude Tony Douglas and Langston Galloway could do nothing with Reggie Jackson, bro.
Man,
y'all remember Langston Galloway?
and Reggie Jackson was super explosive at that time. Like he had a really good first step, and he had the ball on the string. He was like a real fluid athlete.
And he was using. See, back then people wasn't using floaters like that. Man,
Mhm.
Reggie Jackson would whip out that floater and make your big man so mad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because he'd throw it up and it'd be like an inch away from their hand and go in. Right?
The reason was because his wingspan. He had like a 7 foot wingspan. He has a crazy long wingspan for his height.
And
But
he was tough. He played in the ACC. You know what I'm saying? He went to Boston College, played against Duke, North Carolina, Syracuse, all them guys. Right?
yeah, like you know what I wanted to say. Like a lot of people say that a lot of people were discounting OB and IQ stats at the end of last season,
Right.
saying, "Oh, they were against lesser players or they weren't really trying." And it's just like, if that's the case, a lot of guys you've never heard of would put up 40 pointers at the end of the season. And
Yeah,
the
like
times that you see that, you'll see it from a guy like Anthony Simons when he put up 40 at the end of his second, or I think it was first year. He put up 40
or
again.
CJ McCollum. Don't forget
Yeah,
CJ McCollum. You
yeah,
remember when CJ McCollum was battling Alan Crabb for the starting 2 spot in Portland? Remember Alan Crabb?
yeah. And the Nets paid him. Unfortunately,
Big
well,
time.
fortunately for them, they paid him a stupid amount of money. But like, if
Big
you
time.
could put up certain amount of numbers, it don't matter who's out there. It's still NBA talent, and it's damn near the most exclusive sport league in the entire world. If you can get on the court in the NBA, whether it's at the end of a season for quote unquote garbage minutes, you're still an NBA athlete. And if you're getting dominated by any guard, or if you're getting 40 put on you, that speaks to actually having talent. You can't put up 40 in any context of an NBA game unless it's like 60 shots. Unless it's hyper inefficient. But they were
You know who
efficient the
else
whole
came?
time. Go ahead, run for you.
You know who else came into their own doing that? A dude
Who?
named Bradley Beal.
Right.
John
He had
Wall.
he was struggling his rookie year.
Yeah. His first 3 seasons, he was like 15 a game. He wasn't
Yeah.
30 a game. You know what I'm saying? He was just the compliment to John Wall. And John Wall got hurt for a stretch. I think John Wall was out for like 2 weeks. Right? John Wall was out, bro, and they let Bradley Beal shoot every shot. No, just shoot, bro. Just keep shooting. He's like, but I'm tired. I'm exhausted. No, just keep shooting, bro. I'm telling you, I'm exhausted, bro. Nah, keep shooting. And then
You know who they did that
clicked.
to? Yeah, go ahead, finish, Rizzy. I'm gonna let you finish. It
Not
clicked.
bad, bro.
You know who else they did that to? Devin Booker.
Devin Booker in Phoenix. Earl Watson says that all the time. Earl Watson's like, yo, they losing anyway. Why not just let this young fella come in? They was running plays, and Devin Booker team basketball IQ was not there. He was a young player. Like the play is going a certain way. Devin Booker would be off somewhere else. And he'd be like, Earl Watson was like, yo, he'd be over here by me. I'm like, what are you doing over here by me? Here come the ball. Just shoot it. Just shoot it. Yo, no lie, bro. No lie, bro. You got to. You know who else is getting that run right now, and people not noticing? Killian Hayes.
Yeah, he is, and he's figuring it out.
Yes, bro. I'm telling you,
he didn't look like an NBA player's first 2 years at all. Those injuries.
No, his defense was
Most
good.
of their value. Yeah, his defense was good, but like he looked like he was unaware. He didn't really know when to make the right pass, when to look for his own shot. He didn't know how to get to his own space. Like, you know how like when guys figured out they get to their own particular places on the court where they know they can score at will. He's actually doing that now. Like he was serving up Luka. Like he was getting to his spot, pulling up to mid range, getting to his spots, and it's just like some guys just need the opportunity and the confidence and the volume.
Right.
For
Bro,
you to see who they are.
When have you ever seen a 19-year-old league MVP?
Never.
So when these dudes are 19, 20, 21, bro, you got to let them play and figure it out. You know what I'm saying? People forget SGA used to come off the bench for the Clippers.
Yeah.
SGA was not drafted by OKC.
He was on the Clippers and they traded him for the. Yep, and he was off the bench, but they but they viewed him as like, okay, he might be something, but he was just averaging like a little 10 points per game.
Right. They were trying to figure it out with Landry Shamet and Tobias Harris.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this thing with quickly. Knicks fans, man, listen. Knicks fans. Yo, we have dudes on the bench on this team with potential, but we view it a certain way because we don't. You're not gonna win a championship in December, bro. You're just
Shackles
not.
are on them. Shackles are on
Yes.
these guys.
Yeah. The same thing with Obi. Now, I think Quickly has higher upside than Obi, and I think Miles McBride too is going to eventually be a better player than Obi, right? And that's no indictment on Obi because I think Obi could be 20-10 in this league. I just think Miles McBride, once his shot starts going,
Yeah. It's and we're keeping it real. It's the way the league is headed. Like unless you're a hyper athletic, like super dynamic type power forward like Zion, if you're a pick and roll guard that can operate in high volume and run picks and shoot with range, your ceiling is always going to be higher than a power forward.
right,
Just because you
right,
can affect the game on multiple levels from anywhere on the court. Just like
right.
if Quickly gets his shot going, teams are terrified of Quickly whenever he gets his shot going.
They're terrified of him. Yeah, yeah. And
Like,
and, and the thing that I think is an underrated thing for him is his passing ability. But here's the thing, everybody, too. When you have a young team, when everybody is young, the total team basketball IQ is low.
yeah,
Not because they're not smart people, because they don't have enough game experience,
need the
right?
reps.
Yeah, they need the reps. That's why we always say play the kids. Yeah, and for those that don't know, the Play the Kids T-shirt, the Play the Kids hoodie is in the merch store. Y'all should see it underneath this video. Play the kids, but when you play the kids, you assume that everybody is going to be low IQ because even if they watch tape, they still hadn't experienced it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? No 19-year-old is going to be the league MVP. No 22-year-old is going to be the league MVP unless you're Derrick Rose,
Or Luca.
right?
Or something like that.
Or Luca type. Yeah.
But
So just
I was gonna say one last thing about Quickly. Quickly has this effect where his threes feel like they count for more than other players' threes. Like
right.
similar to like Stephen Curry, where
Or
his
Damian
threes
Lillard. That's what I was
hurt.
going to say.
Yeah, like his threes hurt more. It feels like 4 pointers
Right.
compared to. And I was speaking to other teams where they had like their opinions on Quickly, and like other teams fans, and like that's their perspective. Like if he gets going, there's all types of breakdowns happening.
Right.
Whereas if RJ gets going, teams aren't really changing their whole defensive principles just because RJ gets a couple shots to go.
Nah, they ain't. Nah, they just gonna keep going under. They
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
even if he hits 6 threes and you lose, even if RJ Barrett can hit 9 threes and your team loses, Anthony Edwards would still say, I would rather live and die with RJ Barrett taking threes. Right.
Yeah. Whereas it quickly comes down in the first quarter, hits 2 threes, everybody's
Right.
pushing up on the pick and roll.
Right.
People are cheating off to help off the drive.
Right.
Somebody's going to be open, but that would require a lot of high usage, and like we're probably not going to see that. And
Bro,
until Brunson's out, however long he's out.
I'm telling you, what's gonna happen is the Knicks are gonna do like some weird trade. Like, let me find one that I think is weird but makes sense. I'm gonna find one that's weird that makes sense, right? So, here's one that makes a lot of sense, right? Here's one that makes a ton of sense, right? Well, no, not him. I'm sorry. Let me go back one. Where is it? I saw it. Oh, geez. No, it won't make sense. I got the wrong. Okay. Yeah, no, that won't make sense. Let me find another one. It made sense initially until I saw how they were using the player,
Yeah.
and now it doesn't make sense. But
What up,
um,
DSJ in the chat? We deserve better.
we deserve better. Here's one. Here's one that I can see. I can see the Knicks doing. Right. The Knicks will trade Emmanuel quickly to Portland for Keon Johnson and like a second round pick. Right. Right.
No,
They'll
that
do
doesn't
that.
make no sense at all.
So we'll get an athletic high upside guard that's going to remind people of Latrell Sprewell once he gets his game going. But Portland's backcourt of the future. Think about these three guys: Shaden Sharp, Anthony Simons, and Emmanuel Quickly for the
And the
next
thing,
10 years.
and the thing about like what's his name? The other guard, not Shaden. It just slipped my mind. You just said his name.
Which one? Talking about Keon Johnson?
No, not Keon. You said the backcourt of the future for them.
Anthony Simons, Emmanuel
Yeah,
Quickly,
Anthony
and Shaden
Thomas. Yeah,
Sharp.
like the thing about him is he's a legit 6'5". He ain't no small guard, and the athleticism on top of that makes him play bigger than what he is.
Right.
So you're never really at like a physical disadvantage going against other backcourts.
And you know who would be the backcourt? You know who would be the point guard in that set? Quickly. And Simons would be more of the CJ McCollum, and Shaden Sharp would be more of that, dare I say, Vince Carter type.
Man, the way I see his fluidity, I don't see Vince Carter had they both have explosiveness, but he has like more of that smooth explosiveness that T Mac had, in my opinion. Like where Shaden like floats on the court.
Right.
And like Vince Carter feels like he's stomping on the way to the rim to dunk on somebody.
Right.
where T Mac is just floating and getting where he needs to go at his own pace. You ain't gonna speed him up. But he'll still dunk on you too. When twisted.
Yeah, he'll dunk on you. But the most important thing is making the 2 points.
Yeah, exactly. Where T Mac was like a violent explosiveness. Like he was like violent athleticism, and T Mac was like smooth athleticism.
Yeah, and so to the chat, like yo, I'm not bugging out with trying to trade Quickly. Y'all know I like Quickly. Quickly is probably my third or fourth favorite, or second or third favorite player on the Knicks, right? But the thing is, I didn't create the trade Quickly narrative. The Knicks did. The New York Knicks are the one that started this. Emmanuel Quickly is available for trade.
And the thing I hate, we've almost, it feels like we've taken out parts of IQ's identity the longer he's been here. Like the things that the things that made him special, like the step backs and all that stuff, like creating that isolation. We see less and less of that because he's busy trying to run Tibbs' offense and try to be a catch and shoot guy.
Right. And
which caps the ceiling.
And Tibbs doesn't want an ISO scorer. Tibbs wants balance score. Tibbs wants the game to dictate who is the leading scorer, who the leading scorer is. He tells you that every press conference.
Yeah.
Every press conference says, the game will tell you what to do. You just have to read the game and let the game say, yo, you hear it every time, bro. He don't more Quickly out there cooking. Tom Thibodeau will legit go into pregnancy and have a baby rhinoceros if he had James Harden on his team. Can y'all imagine Tom Thibodeau trying to coach James Harden?
He would never even figure it out. And you know what's funny? If Tom Thibodeau had gotten his hands on Derrick Rose as a rookie, Derrick Rose may have not been MVP.
Right.
Derrick Rose learned how to carry that team when it was terrible, and he just continued to carry it after when Tibbs came. But that part of his identity would not have existed.
But Derrick Rose was probably the best player in the league at getting in the paint. So Tibbs might have kind of, you know what I'm saying? Might have. But if you remember Derrick Rose in the early years against Boston, when Oh God, what's it? Vinny
Vinny
Del
Del
Negro
Negro was his coach.
didn't know what to do with him. And he just go out there and run around real crazy, and then pump fake and then dunk on everybody. That's the offense coach. Okay. That's the offense coach. Okay.
The offense is pass to Derrick Rose, and Derrick Rose, he's going to draw a line to the rim, and you figure it out from there.
No lie, bro. I saw the Knicks guard. I saw the Knicks against Derrick Rose. This is when we had D'Antoni, right?
Tony Douglas trying to guard Derrick Rose, man.
This dude backed up. No lie, it was an ABC game. I'll never forget this as long as I live, right? I was working at this place with a whole bunch of Chicago Bulls fans, right? The business I worked for, they were centered in Chicago, but they had a remote office where I live and blah, blah, blah. I'm a Knicks fan. We watched the game in the office, right? We working overtime, but I put the game on the TV since we're going to be there late. You know, we was working second shift, but then we were working overtime. So we were doing like 3 to 12, and then we were working till 2 in the morning or something, right? I put the game on. Raymond Felton backs up and gives Derrick Rose 8 feet of space, right? Derrick Rose takes off towards him. Think about how much 8 feet of space is, right? Right? Derrick Rose takes off with the ball towards Felton. Felton backs all the way up to the rim, right? And Derrick Rose still beats him to the rim and dunks on Raymond Felton. Think about this, bro. This is amazing, bro.
It was like once in a lifetime type athleticism that he had. And it wasn't even just the straight line speed. Like I don't think I've ever seen anybody that shifty in my entire life. He would do those jump stops and those pivots, and there was nothing you could do.
There was nothing, bro. They ran a pick and roll, right? They ran a pick and roll, and then Tony tried to trap it, right? He put 4 dudes on 2 dudes. NBA teams never do this, right? They never do that. They'll blitz it with 3 guys, but 4 people, right? Bro, Derrick Rose turns the corner and goes baseline, and it sounds like a high-speed chase towards the rim. And Derrick Rose dunks on the Russian center that we got, Mozgov. Remember Mozgov?
Yeah.
Bro, Amir Ashik sets a screen, right? Y'all remember Ashik used to play for the Bulls?
Yeah. They paid him. They paid him
big time.
They regretted it.
Both of them, and we made out good because just as a side note, both were free agents, both with the same agency. Both of them played together, right? Ashik and Mozgov, right? People don't notice, but what happens is the Bulls and the Knicks both needed a center, right? And both teams wanted Ashik, right? Mm-hmm. And the Bulls beat us out for Ashik, and we wound up getting Mozgov. And it's like the biggest break we ever caught in our life because Ashik wound up being injuries tore him up.
Yeah, he had foot injuries or something like that. But
yeah. But yo, Derrick Rose turns this corner, bro, and goes to the rim, and it was like a Ferrari getting the green light. Every Knick known to mankind is trying to beat Derrick Rose to the rim, right? Everybody knows the play. They know, and that pick and roll, the reason why they blitz it is because, sag off is because they know Rose is not shooting. Everybody knows Rose is not shooting, right? Everybody sag off and try to cut him off at the rim. And there is a poster out there with Derrick Rose dunking on 3 Knicks. And everybody they blitzed it and knew Derrick Rose was not giving that ball up. And Derrick Rose dunks on 3 Knicks. Derrick Rose in his prime is like if you combine Kevin Johnson with Russell Westbrook's mentality, but having the finishing ability of Kyrie Irving.
The things that didn't make sense about him is he did moves that guards don't even attempt now. Like he jumped so high that it turned his floater into a hook shot.
Right. Yeah.
He jumped so high that he couldn't really do a natural floater, so he had to hook the ball in.
Right.
And
Yo,
guards don't do that at all.
guard, they can't. Right? Yo,
He
no
would do it with
lie.
his left or his right hand.
Dre, no lie. I saw Derrick Rose, right? I saw Derrick Rose go. So this is live, right? Derrick Rose goes by us. He's the only person I've ever seen, as long as I've been watching NBA basketball, that when he took off and got full speed, his uniform was flapping in the wind. Like, yo, I've never seen anybody, and I know that's simple and petty. I know that's simple and petty, right? You like, his uniform was flapping, bro. Like, legit. I just was at the game Friday. Ain't nobody out there running that fast like Derrick Rose back then. No Sonic the Hedgehog type speed.
The thing that didn't make no sense, like, he wasn't even a small guard either. He was 200. He was a solid 200.
Yes.
Flying all over the place. Like how we view Ja. Ja is 170 out there jumping high. If Ja put on 30 pounds of muscle, he wouldn't be jumping that high.
Nah, and Ja Morant too. For where I live, my son played against Ja Morant in high school, right?
Yeah.
My son played against Ja in the same basketball conference in high school, bro. Right? Ja Morant ran into my son, and it sounded like a car accident. Because my son at 6'5", 240, and Ja Morant, who at the time was probably about 5'11", maybe 130, was like a bug in the windshield, bro. But my son is fast at 240. My son is fast, can jump, right? He, a pretty good athlete. They don't call him Rock for nothing, bro. Like he is a great high school athlete. Ja Morant, though, brother, is like generational high school guy. This dude ran by, like, my son was on the track team, right? Ja Morant ran by my son. Like, my son was not on the track team. Let me put it that way.
He teleported.
Yes. My son at the time was built like John Abraham, but he was fast, like John Abraham. Right?
Yeah.
He ran
freak Jets. He was the freak D lineman. He was a freak.
Yeah.
He has some issues right now, but yeah.
Yeah.
He has some problems right now.
I've been trying to reach out to him to get him to talk Jets, but stuff. But anyway, this dude, Ja Morant, runs into my son, bro, and it sounds like a car crash, right? My son don't move. Ja Morant tumbles. You know how they in high school where they have the tables, the fold-up tables with the clock on it. Ja Morant tumbles into that, knocks the table over. We got to delay the game. They got to put the clock back, the buzzer go, all that stuff, and the scoreboard is showing all the zeros, and you got to put the score back up, all this stuff. And John was like, God, dog, bro, you gonna be something to my son, bro. If all my son wanted to do was at the time just play Call of Duty and holler at chicks. But Ja Morant was so fast, bro. I'm telling you. I'm not bragging on Rock because Rock is doing his own thing. He graduated from Clemson. He got his own beautiful life and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Ironically, both of them in Tennessee right now. One in Nashville, one in Memphis. But anyway. But Ja Morant was so fast, bro. But even with all that said, the greatest Ja Morant is probably the greatest high school basketball player I've ever seen, right? I'm talking about live. Yeah. And I've seen a lot of them. Now, mind you now, I graduated with dudes like Raphael Addison, who went to Syracuse. You know what I'm saying? Raphael Addison and all of David Rivers, he was the number one pick for the LA Lakers and guys like that, right?
So how did he not get like a real offer at a big school? That's crazy. Because he played with Zion.
Come on, John. Because he was so small. He was so small. Nobody's gonna sign. Nobody is gonna sign a dude 5'11", 130.
True. He didn't get his growth spurt until a little bit later.
Yeah, he would have had to be at least 5'11", 150 to be considered for a D1 school, bro. But when you 130 and you a junior, man, come on, bro.
He got lucky with his growth spurt, and that's partially the reason why it took him 2 years to come out of college.
Yeah,
instead of one, because he took 1 year to build his body up because he had the growth spurt, but he still had to put like some weight on his frame.
And he could not shoot back then either, bro.
Yeah,
He couldn't.
yeah.
He could not shoot. But the point that I was saying about John Morant is imagine John Morant being that gifted, right? And imagine a dude 4 times more athletic than that in Derrick Rose. Yo, people try to do the John Morant Derrick Rose comparison. No, there is no. Ja is fast. Derrick Rose is a blur. Ja can jump. Derrick Rose teleports, bro.
And we're not even bringing strength into the equation.
Nah.
Not even strength.
And you ain't bringing power. See, because Derrick, you remember the play in the playoffs where Kevin Garnett got beat off the corner and he grabbed Derrick Rose before Derrick Rose jumped?
Yeah.
And Kevin Garnett hurt his shoulder?
He got pulled. Like his arm got pulled out the socket.
You're like, what?
Like the thing that didn't make sense. The thing that didn't make sense about him, like he would drive. I remember a game against the Miami. He was driving baseline. What point guard, drive baseline, take off for 2 feet, and dunk with 2 hands on a legit 7-foot center?
On a 7-foot
on his head.
When the center sees him coming. Think about it. The center see you coming.
It was the Joel Anthony dunk. Like Joel put his arms out and he cocked it back and still dunked it on his head.
Yeah, bro. You remember how he dunked on Steve Nash? He jumped straight up in the air, and Steve Nash took 3 more steps and then jumped, and Steve Nash still got dunked on.
Like, it didn't make sense. Like he was doing things that was not meant for the human body to do. That's why he got hurt.
Right. That's probably why he's in the place that he is now. But at the same time, bro, I brought up all that stuff to say this about guys like Quickly. It's the reason why I was doing the trade scenarios and things like that. Bro, the Knicks don't know what they have because we're in a mindset where we are looking at how bad we've been for the past 50 years. And then it's trying to say, well, this one thing is going to save us. Nah. If you're a realistic Knicks fan, you're thinking like this. If you're realistic, right?
Yeah.
Julius Randle and RJ Barrett are going to probably play out their careers here and we won't win a championship with them. Right? Julius Randle will probably play out this contract 4 years. RJ will play out this contract. There's this contract. What do you get? 5 years?
4. Well, I mean, it's 5 if you count this year. But you got 4 years.
Right.
It starts next year.
Yeah. So RJ Barrett will play out his contract, but we won't win a championship because we don't have the generational talent. Because realistically, we're always going to be we're always going to be in that Orlando Magic space, right? Mm-hmm. Well, Orlando probably not recently because they decided to tank, but generally we're that space that Orlando occupies,
or Charlotte
occupies, or Charlotte, somewhere between 35 and 50 wins. They live in that space. That's where the Knicks live, right? If you're a realistic Knicks fan, you understand that it's going to take a mountain being moved in order for us to get the players that we need in order to win a championship. Because as I've been a fan for about 50, I say 50, but it hadn't been that long because I'm not old enough to say that I've been a real fan for 50 years. Now I have been a kid. I've been a fan, so I could say 50 plus years. Yeah. Because people around me were Knicks fans, and I was just doing what they were doing. You know, when you're a kid, everybody start cheering, and you start cheering. Like when the Knicks won their last championship, I was an arm baby. Well, not an arm baby. I was probably a kindergartner, right? So when they won a championship, I was like, "Hey, everybody's celebrating!" You know.
So I'm gonna celebrate.
But as a cognizant Knicks fan that can track stuff, I probably wasn't a real Knicks fan until 75, right?
Right.
And since 75, the Knicks mindset is be competitive, not be a champion. That's been our mindset since like 1975. We just need to be competitive. We just need to make the playoffs and see what happens. But you know what the Boston Celtics think? The Boston Celtics think it's championship or bust.
Oh, yep.
You know what the Lakers think? Even when the Lakers have zero assets, their mindset is it's championship or bust. Right? You know what?
Just competing is good enough. Being second is good enough. Well, not even second. Being fifth is good enough for
right. As long as we don't embarrass ourselves, we good.
Yeah.
Right? Right? Because
the money's gonna come in regardless.
Yep. That's always been my knock on Knicks fans and the organization. My knock on Knicks fans, like for instance, we got 78 people watching, right? I'm gonna say about 65 are hardcore Knicks fans, right? But even the hardcore Knicks fans, right? Even the 65 hardcore Knicks fans, they don't live by the creed championship or bust. They don't. Right? If I ask Jason, right? If I ask Jason right now, would you trade all these kids right now to get some pieces to help us win in the playoffs? Would you trade Obi, RJ, Cam, Quickly, Grimes, Deuce, all these kids to bring in veterans so that we'll be more competitive in the playoffs? You know what he'll say? No.
Yeah.
We got to build it the right way, right? But the thing is, if you're a Knicks fan, you don't know what the right way is.
There's multiple ways to get to the right way. It's just we're inept at all of them.
Look, like if I ask DSJ right now, DSJ says, "Yo, man, we deserve better." But if I ask DSJ right now, would you trade all these kids for veteran reinforcements so that we can make a better run in the playoffs? He would say no. Man, you got to play the kids. But if you were a hardcore win or else championship or bust type organization, you'd be like, man, screw them kids. I mean, well, no, let me phrase it right. So for people, I don't want to say screw the kids. Let me say, use it. Forget them kids. Forget them kids. Go get you some veterans, bro. Go get Eric Gordon.
We would operate like the Miami Heat, basically. We would operate exactly like the Miami Heat.
Right. What I'm saying is, if you're a hardcore Knicks fan and it's championship or bust, you don't care about no draft picks. You get another one every year for just being alive.
Do you know how many? Do you know like there's? I want to do you know how many like good professional pros the Lakers gave up for their current iteration of their team? They gave up Zubac, they gave up D'Lo, they gave up B.I., Brandon Ingram, they gave up Caruso, they gave up Kuzma, they gave up Jordan Clarkson, they gave up
Randall, they gave up Russell, they gave up Nance, they gave up Lonzo. Bro, think about all the stuff they gave up to get Anthony Davis. Bro, think about it. And now
for Anthony Davis and LeBron.
Right. But think about this. If I asked you if you kept that young core together, would they have won the championship? You'd be like, well, they would have been competitive.
Yeah, they might have been a second round team, maybe. Second round, maybe third round, maybe conference finals, but in the grand scheme, no, they would not have won the championship.
Right. We didn't even mention Josh Hart.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Think about all them kids the Lakers had, right? The Lakers front office was like, to hell with them kids, bro. It's championship or bust. If you're a Knicks fan right now, do you believe Jalen Brunson is your championship level point guard? And if you say no, he's just a piece of the puzzle, then he got to go.
I'm one. I would actually trade Jalen Brunson, not because he's a bad player, but because if you're trying to build a champion, he's not going to take you there. I don't believe he is unless you have a generational talent and an All NBA player alongside. Because that's what Luka was missing. Luka's generational talent, but he was still missing another All NBA caliber guy.
And you know what? When you go into these free agent meetings with Giannis and LeBron and Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, they don't want to hear that yeah, man, you know, we just trying to nah, man, it's either win it all or I'm leaving. Why you think KD ain't here? Kevin Durant didn't sign here and leaving Golden State, not because Kyrie Irving was buddy. It's because the Knicks are not all in on winning the championship. Championship or bust.
Like, yeah, we want to make a sustainable winner. So, hey, Kevin Durant, even though you're like 33, we want you to waste like one more year or maybe 2 years
Yeah,
trying to figure
yeah.
it out.
We want to see your medicals.
They try to tell LeBron that he raises hell over there in Lakers country.
Right. But I would say it like this, bro. The Knicks right now should be all in for a John Morant type player. Because John Morant's asking price is ridiculous, bro. You can't pay Memphis enough for John Morant. Even with that, I would be offering them that plus some.
Man,
right?
you see how small like Memphis is? Like they are the biggest thing in town. Period. They probably
I
generate the
don't,
most money in that city. Bar none, they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I don't see John Moran leaving Memphis.
No, he's
No.
not because nobody you can't pay them enough for Ja.
No.
Ja is big ticket, but the Knicks could. The Knicks have everything you could offer for John Morant plus some. Right? And when people are saying, I'm not gonna gut my franchise just for John Morant, just so he can come here and be by himself. That's what losers say. Right? Losers
No.
will be like, man, I'm not getting ready to buy this Ferrari, and then I gotta pay the car insurance for it, and I gotta pay parking, and then I gotta pay for maintenance. Bruh, you got a Ferrari. What's it
Pays for
matter?
itself. Pays for itself.
Right. What are we talking about?
Those types of things, like top 10 type players, they put your foot in the door. You can figure
Right.
everything else out after.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
It's like, would we rather be us right now, or would you rather be the Mavericks? And I'd rather be the Mavericks as far as roster composition. Even though they have a lot of ill-fitting parts, you have the engine. You have the engine. We have everything for the car, but we ain't got no engine.
right. And Dre, think about this. How much longer are you gonna watch, say, the Toronto Raptors win a championship, or the Boston Celtics go to the NBA Finals, or the Brooklyn Nets be relevant, or the Philadelphia 76ers be relevant, and you in the division is the worst team in the division every year, even in your good years. Even in your good years, you're the worst team in the division.
That's called being complacent. That's all that is.
Right. If it was win, and this is the thing I say about Knicks fans, right? And these are my people, and I love them. I love. Look, man, what is it? It's almost 4:00 in the morning, and I got on a Knicks t-shirt, and I'm on the internet talking Knicks. Now I had to question my passion, bro. I travel. Next year I'm driving to Atlanta, driving to Orlando probably twice, might drive to Miami, definitely going to see Memphis if I can, definitely going to DC. Right?
You spend your real money on it, man.
Real money, right? Go to the gas station, fill up, probably stop somewhere in North Carolina at a shady gas station.
Get something good to eat.
Yep, and get back on the road, headed to DC, right? and so my thing is fans like us that say it's acceptable not winning a championship. See, because for us, a championship is a nice to have. For Boston, it's air.
They need it.
They got to have it, or they
It's disappointment. Yeah.
For the Knicks, we're gonna be like, bing bong.
It's like, I mean, like people are out in the streets just because we won one playoff game, and a buzzer beater 3, maybe. Was it? No, that wasn't the RJ. That was a different game. But yeah, we beat the Celtics, the opener, or something like that.
Yeah,
and people were wilding out.
Right, you remember when we were under 500, right? We were under 500, right? And we beat a team to get back to 500. and we were in the streets talking about Bing Bong because we were no longer losers.
We
Not
don't
because
we
we won the
don't
championship.
we, we don't have great perspective as a whole, man. Like our perspective is so short sighted, which is why we don't ever make the real big move to actually
Right.
change things, like or pick a real direction. Because knowing you free, you would be more comfortable making trading everybody out here for a generational talent, or blowing
Right.
the whole thing up and trying to get a generational talent a different way.
Right.
But,
Right. I
but
would. I'm gonna
we're cool
identify.
with ham sandwiches. That's what we cool with.
Right. You know what I would do, Drake? Because think of what's the greatest era of your Knicks fandom? Just being nosy.
Late '90s Knicks, because I actually was a fan and I knew what was going on and I was knowledgeable relatively. Like I was 9, 10, 11 when,
Of,
around
of
that
any
age.
of any
So that
of
was the best
everybody
era.
on those late '90s teams. Think about of everybody on those late '90s teams. Name
Yeah.
one that was drafted by the Knicks outside of Pat Ewing. That was a contributor. Name one.
Charlie Ward, I guess. Charlie Ward.
Charlie Ward
That's
was here.
about around 97, 98.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
was
yeah.
it?
Okay. All right,
Yeah. That
but
was,
I'll paint the picture for you though. That late
yeah.
'90s team had Chris
Mhm.
Childs, right? Had Allen Houston,
Traded
Latrell
from Pistons.
Sprewell,
Traded from the
Marcus
Warriors.
Camby. Yep, Marcus
Traded from the
Camby,
Raptors.
Larry Johnson,
Traded
Kurt
from the Hornets.
Thomas. Yep, Kurt Thomas.
I don't remember Chris Holmes was for.
Kurt Thomas. We signed him. Kurt Thomas was in the league like 7 years before we got him.
He
Right?
was okay. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
So yeah, he started with I think he started with Dallas, then played for Phoenix, and then
Mhm.
all this other stuff. But he was a tough guy. Like he was
Yeah.
always the guy we always get in a fight with. We like, yo, you just like us. You may as well come play for us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But think about all those names that we just mentioned. Those were guys that the Knicks went out and got. Right? You ain't you're not talking about John Thomas. I don't remember us having a conversation about John Thomas, bro. Right?
So it's like we do this ragtag thing, but the only thing that can even be pushed back is we had the well, I don't know if you want to consider Patrick generational. He might be generational in this era,
Yeah, he
but
was
Patrick,
generational.
yeah, we had the generational talent to build around.
Right.
They at least got that and held on to that.
But not in not in the late
Not-
'90s. In the late
not
'90s,
he
Pat
was
Ewing was a
broken,
13-year veteran.
down. He was broken down by that point, but he still
Pat was
had a lot to
35.
offer. He still had a lot to offer when he could play. But not in
And-
'99 though. But yeah.
Right. So basically, I'm asking you about that time because even when I started watching the Knicks in the early '70s, I didn't know what I was looking at, but I was looking at something. You know what I'm saying? Even in the early '70s, though, you know what the Knicks were doing? They drafted certain guys, but for the most part, they were trading for guys. Dave DeBusschere, all them guys, Earl the Pearl. They traded for these guys, bro.
Mhm.
You feel me? And so what I'm saying to you as a Knicks fan is, what would you prefer? Would you prefer to just be respected, or would you prefer to win championships?
I want to be a hated winner, man.
And if you're a Knicks fan in this chat right now and you dare utter the word "I want championships," then you want a cutthroat, non-smiling, curmudgeon-looking team president, because he will be cutthroat as hell. He'll be like,
so you want him to look like Pat Riley?
Pat Riley, bro, the executioner. If you ain't performing, we get you out of here. We don't care what you do at the next stop.
He comes down into the training room and calls you fat because you look fat.
Yeah, because you stay in that cabinet, inside that cabinet over there. Yeah. Yeah. So what I'm getting at is Leon Rose. If Leon Rose wants to win championships, then he gonna be willing to do these cutthroat moves, bro. Like if for instance, If there's a 24 to 25-year-old star out there that I can get right now, that I feel like can turn into a franchise player, I'm packaging Randall and RJ right now for him.
100%.
Why wait? What am I waiting on?
You get
And
him,
mind
and
you,
then you figure it out.
Mind you, this is a guy, I love RJ and Randall. You know me, I don't talk trash about I try not to talk trash about RJ, and you know how I advocate for Randall. Right?
Yeah,
I pound the table for Randall, bro. But if you're telling me that right now I can go out and get Zion, or not even Zion, telling me who's a top 20 player that's 25 years old, 24 years old. There are
oh,
so few of them.
Tatum is like 24. Tatum
Oh,
is an example.
Boston
Yeah,
will
they
never
would
come
never.
up.
Yeah, Luca.
Luca. Okay. What I would do is say for Luca. See, because Anthony Edwards don't give me the impression that he's committed to basketball. Because the last time I saw him, he looked fat. Right? In my
But
mind,
you know what's funny? You know what's funny about that? I was reading. He's actually his body fat is actually down compared to last year. Like he has more functional muscle now because his body fat was like 10% last year. It's 6 now. Now he has more stamina to play longer in games now.
Right. If I'm the Knicks right now, bro. If I'm the Knicks right now, I'm looking at how can we flip this right? Because I don't care about Tibbs. I'm going to Tibbs. I'm like, yo, do you want a chip or not? And if anything comes across his lips, anything that comes across his lips is not championship being the first words in his statement. And if Tibbs don't tell me it's championship or death, I'm firing him and bringing in the guy. Yep, on the spot.
You need to get into the minds of guys like Jerry West, like guys who are legit cutthroat and identify talent and know what they need to do immediately to win games.
Right.
Like any team that Jerry West has been a consultant for, they've either been contenders or are about to win a championship.
They turn it around immediately with Jerry West in the building.
Jerry West comes around and it's like they always got to go.
Yep. All this fat stuff, all these nice things. Y'all got
Lakers, Warriors, like anywhere he go, they try to turn out to being a contender immediately because he knows what it takes to win a championship because he lost a bunch of them, so he knew what was the difference.
Yeah, I'm going. You listen, I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. I'm going out and getting like when you look at the Philadelphia 76ers. Which one of their players do you feel like wants a championship the most of their roster, their players? Embiid, right? You think Harden
he wants it the most? I think Harden is cool making his money, man. I think Harden is cool getting the limelight, making his money. But I feel like he cares, but maybe not as much as Embiid. Embiid was out here balling like a baby just because he lost in the second round, and he barely got to the playoffs.
Yep.
You know he wants to win. So if it, honest to God, if it doesn't work in the next year or two, he's probably going to be the next one trying to get up out of there.
Yeah.
And try to build another super team somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. That's why when I look at the draft, I'm not saying that these kids are not quality NBA players. What I'm saying is they're not quality NBA players right now. See, I don't want to win a championship in 5 years. I want to win a championship now. There are plenty of organizations that are doing the same thing, targeting 5 years to win a championship. That's what Detroit doing. That's why they're shutting down Cade. They're like, we're not there yet. We'll get Victor or Scoot Henderson and pair them, and blah, blah, blah. But nah.
It's a good thing in theory, but theory never always works out.
Right. If you're in chat, somebody in the chat, tell me, do you want to win a championship this year or not? Because if you want to wait, that's no indictment on you. That's your preference. But you know what Boston wants to do right now?
Title.
Boston will push every Knicks fan in this chat into a bunch of shark-infested waters for a championship. And they'll do the time afterwards. They did the crime, they'll do the time afterwards. They don't care. They'll do the time. But if that means they could be in a cell celebrating the championship, they'll do it. Right? And I know that sounds like a stretch, but Boston wants to win championships at all costs. They don't care that a young guy has a fancy crossover. They don't care. You think the Lakers care that Max Christie can knock down threes in an open gym?
Nope.
They don't care. You think they care that Scottie Pippen Jr. is athletic and one day they'll trade him for Evan Fournier right now if that means they'll win a championship, bro. And if you the Knicks, well, Dre, I've been asking the chat, Dre, what about you?
Oh, what's the question in particular?
Do you want to win a championship right now or not? Do you want to win a championship right now or not?
Yeah.
Would you be willing to do whatever it takes with this roster to win a championship?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm burnt. It depends. Like, well, it doesn't depend, but I'm willing to either burn it down to the ground or trade everything to get the like a preeminent type player, top 5 top player,
right,
on this roster.
Championship team. Man, Boston traded for Malcolm Brogdon, and they didn't even know what they was going to do with him, but they wanted him because he's a winner. Yeah, we don't know if
Same thing that the Drew Holiday trade.
Yeah, bro.
Traded damn near everything they had that wasn't Middleton and Giannis for.
Yep. And brought in other guys that want to win also. They took less money to come play with Giannis for this run of the championship.
In Milwaukee, of all places.
In Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And think about all the places. Think about all the teams that have won championship recently, right? Chicago. Okay. Think about the big cities: Dallas, Texas; Los Angeles, California; Miami, Florida; New York City, New York; Chicago, Illinois. Think about these big cities, right? These big, huge media markets. Phoenix, Arizona. Right? These places are not winning championships, bro. To places winning, really, the Santa Clara, Golden State area, Santa Clara, San Francisco, San Jose, Oakland. There's no big city out there. That's a bunch of medium-sized cities together, right?
Yeah, that's where they had to put it. The Bay Area. They had to move it out of Oakland to the fancy city. San Francisco.
Yeah, man. Bro, that's what I'm saying. When people are like, well, this is New York, man. People love it. Nah, bro. You can go to New York whenever you feel like it. Yo, New York is an excellent place to live if you got money. If you rich, New York City is an excellent place to live. Right? We can go visit New York. We can go to Midtown anytime we want if you got money. And these dudes have money. Right? So why go play for a bad organization and why go to a bad organization that's not hell-bent on winning when you can visit there anytime you want?
It's all the sense in the world. Like, why would they want to come here if they're going to get taxed way more for the same contract?
Right. Bro, Toronto, Ontario, Canada has a championship.
They have worse taxes than us.
Yeah, they have worse. And you got to pay. And you have to pay taxes in 2 different countries. Crazy.
And
but
we
they
can't
have
even get nobody. And
right,
because they made the big move.
Yep.
They made the move. We're scared to do it.
Yep.
Terrified to do
it. If you're telling me like if there is a that's why earlier when you asked me about when we were talking about Patrick Williams, I'm like, do it. What do you have to lose? Go overpay for him. You good at getting draft picks anyway. Go overpay for him. Go get him. Go get Devin Vassell. Go get these young pieces so that way when a stud does come available, you're like, yo, you see what we working with here.
We got something. We got something. We're cooking with gas.
Yeah, but now Now when free agents be looking in like, yo, what you got? Well, we got Randall and RJ.
That's not enticing.
Yeah. And no knock on them, but I just don't see them being the pieces that get you to a championship.
Yeah,
Right?
I don't see them as being complementary pieces to what a superstar would want in the modern NBA.
I don't even think Jaylen Brown is the piece that gets you to a championship, bro. I like Jaylen Brown a lot. I love playing with him on 2K. Every time I play 2K, I trade for him. I love Jaylen Brown. Right? Love Jaylen Brown. Right? I love Luka.
Yeah.
I love Luka and those type players, bro. But I think I can't see Luka's style of play winning a championship, bro. He's got to do other stuff.
I feel like a lot of his ball dominance like that is because that roster is just shaped like that. It is constructed to just force him to do everything. And like I feel like he has the ability, well, he has the IQ and the ability to just adapt overall.
Right.
And like I want to see him in a position where he has a counterpart that's just as skilled, well, not just skilled, but almost as skilled as him offensively, where it would take him off ball, it would conserve his energy, allow him to be manipulative away from the ball. Right. Could you picture Luka setting screens for somebody else? No. but no. Steph Curry does it all game long.
All the time. All the time. And bro, ultimately what I'm saying is I'm not trying to pick fights with Knicks fans because this is my family, right? This is my family. But what I am saying is organizations, some organizations are like, if I don't win a championship, I'm dead. Right? The Knicks are like, well, we developed the kids and we made it bing bong.
It's cute.
Come on,
it's
bro.
Cute. We don't do the cutthroat thing.
You think that's what they're doing in Miami? Right now, Miami's struggling, right? What you think they think about doing?
They brainstorming how many different ways they could get a impact player over there right now.
Right now.
Like you see that deadline? 12-15? They're gonna move somebody that they signed that day or the day after.
and they're gonna attach draft picks to it. Get them out of here. We don't care about no draft pick.
No.
I don't care about no middle schooler. That draft pick, that dude probably in 9th grade right now. I don't care nothing about him.
How's that gonna help? It's not gonna help Jimmy Butler when Jimmy Butler's 42.
Right. They basically saying we'll deal with it when that time comes. Right? But the Knicks and so to the chat, man, real quick before we get out of here, because it's like 4:00 in the morning. But real quick though, bro, the Knicks fan base has to embrace this mindset where it's championship or death, bro. There cannot be an in-between. Don't tell me to wait on Randall to reach his prime. Randall is going into his prime years right now.
This is his prime. He's 28. This is his prime. Like when you hit 27, 28, 29, that's your prime.
Yeah. So from about 27 to about 32, right? That's not about right.
Yeah.
So don't tell me that I gotta wait on Randall and then eventually while Randall is in his prime, we have to wait for RJ Barrett to catch up. No. I love both players, right? But it's championship or bust. That's how you win championships. You don't get lucky winning championships. You just don't.
You got to pick a direction.
Yep.
Pick one instead of this half stepping crap. It's like, oh, we got 1 foot here. We're still trying to develop youth. And don't you like our 25th overall pick from the draft? It's like, come on, man. You're not gonna talk to me about youth, and it's not a blue chipper.
Right.
If it ain't a blue chipper, don't talk to me about youth, man.
And you know what happened to Brett Brown? When Brett Brown and them lost that series in Miami, I knew he was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because Brett Brown did an excellent job with Philadelphia. Trust the process, all that stuff. He took them from the number 1 pick in the draft, the worst team in the league, to one buzzer beater away from being in the Eastern Conference Finals against Milwaukee. Right? Brett Brown is the guy. Now, Dre, like if you say burn it to the ground and start all over, Brett Brown's your guy. Not no stupid Kenny Atkinson. Kenny Atkinson ain't nobody, bro. He's a terrible game strategist. The only thing he did was run a play that everybody, we're gonna run the pick and roll. Well, what is that top secret? That's a top secret offense. He run the pick and roll. Everybody do that. Kenny Atkinson
with D'Lo and Spencer a million times.
Really? Kenny Atkinson, he developed. No, he didn't. Spencer Dinwiddie was already a decent player, bro. Spencer Dinwiddie was already a decent player. All he needed was reps on a tanking team.
And D'Angelo was a top 3 pick. So
right,
he was gonna be what he was supposed to be.
Right. With opportunity.
Yeah.
Once he got the opportunity to be that, he showed he can do that. Right? But you think the Lakers were gonna wait? The Lakers didn't wait on Randall. Randall was an MVP. I mean, MVP candidate, an All-Star.
They let Randall go without even trading him. That's how ready they were to switch the guard.
They didn't send him a qualifying offer. That's how we got to New Orleans. They did not extend a qualifying offer. I think the Knicks are going to do that to Cam Reddish too. If they keep him somehow, they're not going to extend him a qualifying offer. He's just going to be an unrestricted free agent, like the Knicks did Frank. After 4 years, c'est la vie.
It's like we ain't gonna get no value for you, so might as well just go.
Right, but if you're the Knicks, bro, you got if you're James Dolan, you have to take a long look in the mirror. Right? Do we go all in or do we go all out? Right? And basically what I'm saying is do you go all in for a championship this year? Or do you let this team rebuild? But there is no in between. Pick a direction and go. Either you could do my stance, which is in this context. Now, listen, y'all. I'm not saying trade the kids, but I am saying championships are important. It's the only thing. The only thing more important than air is championships. Right?
If you don't take that approach, you ain't never gonna win one, unless you just absolutely luck into it.
Or you could take the Dre approach, burn it to the ground, start all over from scratch. But championship,
the goal has to be the goal.
Thing.
Yeah. That has to be the main goal, where you burn it down, acquire them assets, and then trade it for blue chip talent or high end talent, instead of just hoarding it, just to trade it for middling players. Because what's the purpose of them?
Just to look like you're doing something.
Yeah, like what's the purpose? Go ahead,
you ever had a homeboy who buy an old school car and he work on it like in the yard every like once a month, and every 2 weeks he'll go out there and you'll hear wrenches turning and clickety clack and all this stuff. And I'm like, and you'll be like, yo, man, what you doing? He's like, man, I'm just trying to. Like, why ain't running yet? Man, this is my pet project, man. You know what I'm saying?
He ain't taking it serious enough.
Yeah. Either you gonna get it running or you wasting time. And that's what I feel like. That's what I feel like the Knicks are doing right now. Oh man, we have 8 million draft picks over the next 10,000 years.
So what you gonna do with them?
I'm not gonna be alive in 10,000 years.
This is talking about some draft picks 6, 7, 8 years down the line. So you gonna use them, or you just gonna keep talking about them?
Right.
What's the purpose of capital if you're not gonna use your capital, or spend your capital?
Right.
So either you spend them. Yeah, like are you gonna spend them, or you gonna burn it down and go acquire as much capital to spend them to ultimately spend your capital? Unless you want us to look like OKC for the next 8 years.
You read my mind, bro. I was just about to say that. Seattle burnt it to the ground. Remember, Seattle burnt it to the ground. Seattle had all these old veterans on terrible contracts. They drafted Nick Collinson, and he was out there trying to play the right way. And these old vets was worried about if the check was gonna clear. They wearing fur coat, bro. How this is how I knew the NBA was out of hand. Dudes was wearing fur coats
On the bench.
You got everything in your jewelry box on at the game.
That made David Stern got pissed off. That made him like, yo, y'all gotta actually wear suits or something. Like y'all can't be out here with size 54 jeans on, man, on the bench.
Right. and custom Jordans.
Oh
on,
man, it's like you have to pick a direction. So like ultimately, if I were to burn it down to the ground, I'm using all those assets to build it up as soon as possible, not just to sit on them and count the draft picks for the next 2-3 years. If I do draft, it'll be 1 or 2 years max, and then I'm building around the 1 or 2 guys that I got drafted.
Right.
And I'm getting all NBA talent to surround the guys that I drafted with all those assets that I got.
So you're taking a Lakers model. The Lakers drafted Kobe, and they signed Shaq in the same summer.
Exactly. It's like you pick a guy that you know is going to be a 1A, 1B type, and then you trade whatever else assets you got and get your other 1A, 1B right there, and then you build around that. But this hoarding 3, 4, 5 number 1 overall pick stuff like the Sixers and OKC is not for me.
Orlando, yeah.
The Cavs took a pretty good approach. They quickly rebuilt off of competing for championships. They reset their salaries, drafted 1-2 times high-end guys in the lottery. Really, they drafted 3 times for Okoro, but that didn't work out. But they did it for a few years, and they flipped it around in short order, and they traded for a star that's also young that they could build around.
Right.
But that is the blueprint I'm looking for, where you can get your 1A in the draft, but you don't keep trying to draft 1As over and over. You pick your guy for 1 or 2 drafts, and then you trade for your guy. The process should take no longer than 3 years. Teams are doing it in 2 years.
Indiana rebuilt their thing, and their arrow is pointing up right now.
They have their guy. They have their 1A guard of the future. Right. And then they have another guy that might be a 1B in Matherin. And now they're going to trade for someone after they get rid of Buddy Hield and their center, Miles Turner. They're going to have assets to trade for another guy. And you know what they might do? Since they acquired so much capital out of these drafts, since they might trade that Dominican player that they drafted last year. They might have to trade him. Yeah, they might have to trade him along with a few other picks as basically what the Cavs did. They traded a few young guys, some guys on contracts that aren't terrible, and a ton of picks for their all-NBA talent.
Right.
You have to pick a direction and do it quickly.
I think what they're going to do, what Indiana is going to do, I'll say this real quick, and then I'm going to get out of here because I got some stuff I got to. But I will say this. Indiana built it completely the right way, right? They traded guys that they knew had flaws in their game, and they drafted late run like Isaiah Jackson, very slept on. Jalen Smith, who they got from the Suns.
Yeah, because Jalen Smith couldn't even cut it for the Suns, but his skill set is modern NBA written all over it.
Modern NBA, right? The kid Andrew Nimmer, he's
second rounder.
Excellent. He's going to be an excellent third NBA guard, bro.
Man, did you see him against the Warriors? My God.
Yes.
It's just destroying them.
And they have a championship coach. See, the thing is with coaches, you want to get a guy like say if your best player is a guard, right? If your best player is a guard, and this is the reason why I like Paul Silas and LeBron together. right? Paul Silas was an NBA
Rest in
champion.
peace, Paul Silas.
Yeah,
By the way.
yeah. Rest in peace, Paul Silas. Right. Paul Silas was a championship level forward in the NBA with the Boston Celtics and some other teams. Right. They got LeBron. He saw LeBron. He was like, "Hey, I can get you to the championship level." Right. See, because he could have. He went when he talked to LeBron. He didn't be like, "Yo, you can make 13 All-Star games." LeBron James didn't care. Even at 18, LeBron James did not care about All-Star games. He cared about championships. See, Ricky Davis, and Darius Miles, they cared about the NBA life. LeBron James cared about winning, right? So, I'll give you an example. Tyrese Halliburton, you know who his coach is, right?
From college? Oh yeah, Rick Carlisle. Yeah.
No, Rick Carlisle.
I thought you were talking about from college or something, because you just mentioned his name.
Nah, Rick Carlisle is a championship point guard from the Boston Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Rick Carlisle won a championship with coaching the Dallas Mavericks. You know who his point guard was? Jason Kidd. Every day you talk to Tyrese Halliburton, you draw off all of that, right? Now, Tom Thibodeau never played in the NBA, right? Tom Thibodeau never played in the NBA. But Tom Thibodeau can never say, "Hey, I was the guy that got us to this place."
Never.
All Tom Thibodeau could say is, "I know basketball."
Only thing he was the assistant to a team that had 3 Hall of Famers on it.
Yep. So, but Dre, I'm gonna get out of here on that note, man. I'm gonna go in here and get some rest, man. It's gonna be a long day. I'm gonna try to do the Knicks morning drive in the morning, but we'll see. You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
We'll see how things go.
Salute to the chat.
Yo, and I missed you on the We Talk Hawks, but when they
you should have tagged me in Discord, man.
I started to, but things happened so fast. Like I was working on some portfolio stuff. I saw that they went live, right? And I started watching it, and then I saw the link in their chat. I was like, "Yo, he put the link in the chat." I stopped working, went straight in, and just jumped on with them. They thought I was a troll backstage. It's like, "Who's this backstage?"
Nah, it happened so fast. Like your eyes just got big.
Yeah.
My bad.
And I introduced
how'd it go?
It was great, bro. It was great. You have no idea, bro. Listen, man. If you think the Knicks are mad about RJ Barrett and him at the number 3 pick, talk to them Hawks fans about
DeAndre
at the number 4 pick. And they
was
traded
DeAndre 4? DeAndre was 4.
He was 4. They traded up with the Lakers to get him.
They wanted him to be like a Kawhi type to offset Trae Young's lack of defense.
Yep.
And he's just a guy right now. He's not really anything special.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank y'all for watching. Everybody that came in the panel, man, appreciate y'all, man. I'm gonna try to do the Knicks morning drive in the morning. We'll see.
Hey, can I ask you something before you get off, Freezy?
Yes, sir.
For you? All right.
Okay.
No. I thought you were gonna. I was gonna ask you to send me the link to the Knicks. Hawks TV thing. If they had if I could rewatch it or anything, because it was on YouTube, right?
It's on YouTube. It is on the Blorange Tears community page.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's on the YouTube.
That way you won't lose it. It'll be on there. I'm not taking it down.
All right, cool.
So for those of y'all that want to watch it, go to the Blorange Tears community page. Go to the Blorange Tears homepage. Click on the community tab, and you'll see their logo. It should be at the top, and it'll be my message up there doing the Knicks at Night podcast, but on with We Talk Hawks right now. Y'all should see it.
I see it. I'll watch it. Appreciate the combo. Appreciate the chat, Freezy.
Yeah, man. Yeah. We'll see y'all later, y'all.
Later.